on, well.
Shampoo, I'll take whatever's in there.
Do you use shampoo?
I do.
I do, just for the scalp. I don't know
It
why.
helps your scalp?
Yeah.
I think soap would probably dry it out a little bit more.
So I use, scalp's good moisturizer.
Yeah. Now, I've used the same deodorant forever. It's not that I'm brand loyal. It's just that I like that. I guess that makes me brand loyal.
I think that's the way it is. I think women read more about new products, and I think once you get, I've been a Speed Stick guy for 40 years, 30 years.
I'm a Gillette guy. It's like a gel.
Oh, I can't stand gels.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So when you click it up, it just a little gel comes out.
It's got a bunch of little holes, and they pop up like Play-Doh. You remember the Play-Doh thing?
But are you the Speed Stick that is not white? Is it like a...
No, it used to be green, but I do the blue now. So the blue's like an ocean.
Those are my two least favorite types of deodorant.
The white rips your damn hair out.
What do you use?
I use the white.
And then you leave you a clump. You're playing hoops, and you got a damn clump up.
I never have clumps. I trim my underarm hair, but I go Old Spice.
Yeah,
Old Spice
Old
white.
Spice stick.
Yeah.
This is an example. We all have different deodorants, and we all. How long have you used your Old Spice?
Gosh, probably since high school.
Yeah, like when you go to the grocery store, you're not looking at anything else. You know, when you go to deodorant, you're going straight to that.
That's exactly right.
I don't know how I got on this.
I don't
Toothpaste. Okay. Fried chicken is now a influence on toothpaste. KFC recently introduced fried chicken flavored toothpaste. There it is.
I don't want it.
I mean, if it's not Bojangles or Champies or something, no thank you.
The flavors are, quote, inspired by all of KFC's 11 herbs and spices.
That's why I'm brushing my teeth, is to get that taste out of my mouth.
The toothpaste, which offered exclusively on the this website for $13, was sold out as of this morning.
Listen, let me tell you.
48 hours it took them to sell it out.
Yeah, how many do they make? Not a lot.
You can get the electric toothbrush, by the way, for $59. KFC electric toothbrush.
I'm going to say I actually am more interested in the FPI than I am these type of toothpaste phenomena, these fake toothpaste stories that get KFC into.
Do you guys remember?
You could not be less interested. You checked out of the FBI discussion about 20 seconds in.
But at least you back from vacation. You said you wanted to talk about it. I gave it to you first in the show.
Yeah.
So I could re-engage for the rest of the 2 hours and 45 minutes the rest of the way.
Get your checkout out of the way. Do you guys brush your gums?
Yes.
You get all the way up in your gums?
Tongue.
Do you brush your tongue with a brush, or do you flip it over with that little scrapey part on the back of the toothbrush?
Start off by scraping.
Yeah, I've got a tongue scraper, and then I'll brush up the tongue.
Okay, you got an individual scraper.
Yeah.
So I
floss before you do any of that, though, right?
Oh, I do the opposite. I brush, and then I use the water pick.
I use the water pick and
floss first.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I floss first.
So you go water pick, then brush?
No, so I only use water pick once a day in the morning.
I do too.
And then at night I floss.
I floss, and then I brush, then I scrape tongue, brush tongue, mouthwash, done.
Huh.
So do you guys remember KFC used to be a big deal?
I do.
And apparently they still sell a lot of chicken. Have you ever eaten at a KFC?
I have, but I don't really think I can anymore because there's just hardly any around here.
No, well, so Maddie has never eaten at a KFC.
Yeah.
I think some of the generations, like back in the day, I guess we didn't have a lot of options back to us watching a ton of sports.
Yeah. I mean, I went to my first Alabama football game at Legion Field, and I had a drumstick.
The bucket was a real thing. Do you remember getting the bucket?
Oh, yeah, I do remember
100%.
the bucket, yeah.
I used to get that double down sandwich where instead of bread, it was pieces of chicken.
Oh my gosh, Tyler, how did
we
you
used to
eat
laugh
that?
about that on Trash.
We did. I think we tried it once, didn't we?
I
Two
did.
slices of bacon and some mystery sauce in between 2 pieces of chicken.
So,
Is a bucket still a thing?
Oh, I'm sure.
couldn't tell you. I haven't been to Chick-fil-A.
It's got to be.
Or a KFC.
Wait, where did Kick the Bucket come from?
All right, I'll look it up.
Kick the bucket. Let me
Do you think
see.
it's somebody that choked out on KFC chicken?
I got it right here.
Okay, as you do that, a man who admitted sexually gratifying himself with pool floats has pleaded guilty to months-long burglary spree that netted him dozens of inflatable partners, according to court records. Look at
To expand business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us. Send an email to sales@nextroundlive.com to be a part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platform. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, and reach the most desirable audience for your business. Get information and more by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter @ScottForresterTV. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Live show today on a Wednesday. We'll talk to Brandon Marcello coming up to start the final hour number 3, 12 Eastern, 11 Central Time. If you want to hang around for that or make some appointment listening and viewing, or mark it when you come back later on. No Lance today, out being great dad last night at a Metallica concert with his son. He's back tomorrow. That's Brownie. I'm Dunaway. Behind the glass, Melton Forrester. Tyler on the big board back there. Little T handling everything social media. Emily Grace McWhorter reporting and also helping out on social media today. As we get going for you, give us a thumbs up and like and subscribe everywhere. Brownie, we start the Women's College World Series tonight. That'll be fantastic television. I actually, if I'm around my TV and not doing something else, we'll turn on the Stanley Cup Finals, which starts tonight.
Always fun, yeah.
In Edmonton, where the atmosphere, I promise you, will be extreme. It'll jump through your TV. It'll be so electric in that building there tonight. If you are just trying to become a hockey fan or want to do it, tonight's a must-watch game, I believe.
A game one is a must-watch?
I'm just because saying of the location.
Yeah, because of the location. So for those that do not follow hockey, the reason you say this is a Canadian team has not won the Stanley Cup since 1994. I believe that would be the case.
Yeah, 93, the Montreal Canadiens. And Edmonton is a historic franchise with a lot of Stanley Cups. They're hungry. They've got Connor McDavid. I'm just telling you, I don't want to go into a deep dive about hockey here.
No, but
there's just certain sporting events that you tune in for atmosphere or venue, and this is one of them tonight.
Edmonton, a small town or a large town?
It is a small town, relatively speaking, on the American sports scene.
It says population, I don't know if this is their metro, of 1.087 million, which if that's the metro, it's smaller than Birmingham. I think that's just the actual city, so I think it's a little bit bigger than Birmingham.
I've never been to Canada, but when I look at it on a map, I think when you go outside big cities, you find trees and mountains very quickly.
And mooses.
It's just an amount of I think it's a small market. I've always pictured it that way. But it'll be a great atmosphere. Now listen, I say this because it's a hockey rink and it's inside an arena, so it's not like you don't have the uniqueness of a football or a baseball stadium, but just the intensity in the building, you will enjoy it tonight.
If you draw a line due south from Edmonton, what's the first major U.S. city you hit?
Straight down Edmonton. I think the first big U.S. city that I hit, are we going to count? I think the first big one in my mind that I hit will be Denver, Colorado.
Okay, you're close enough. I was just saying you're a little too far east. It's Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City.
So I was just seeing if you had the geography in mind.
Well, I did
there.
because as a young kid, when Eli Gold came to town to Birmingham, longtime voice of Alabama, he came to be a hockey announcer for the Birmingham Bulls when they were in the WHA. And I would stay up late night because the Edmonton Oilers were in the league, so were the Winnipeg Jets. And that trip out to that part of the WHA was always fun to stay up because the first puck wouldn't drop until like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock my time. So it was always late night hockey that I'd sit up and listen to Eli Gold on the call late night. So I always pictured Edmonton this far away winter land.
Yeah, it kind of is up near Banff. So it kind of is.
Yeah. So that's, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, like when you go Stanley Cup and NBA Finals together, just the markets, Miami, Edmonton, Oklahoma City, and Indianapolis, not exactly the way I think the TV networks would draw this up, is it?
No. They're got to sell this just for the best teams available, and these are for championships. You got to be a fan to watch this. Don't want to jump into hockey there. I want to get into a lot of college football today on the show. We'll start with the recruiting. Recruiting's not huge, especially for us on this show. We do the big wrap-ups, and I do believe, and I think you would agree with this, Brown, the transfer portal has become bigger news than the signing of 95% of high school commitments, right?
Yeah, I feel like portal season, and it's more spread out. There's not like an actual signing day, but portal season has become bigger than any of the signing days. Like, I mean, it's
But not just signing day. I'm talking about just anytime I throw out a commitment for you here, it just doesn't resonate anymore. It's got to be an uber 5-star guy.
Like, I don't know who would get a fan fired up right now, because I think you fear, like, if he comes here and it doesn't go just the way he wants in year one, he could be somewhere else, or we could find a guy that's already proven better than him in the portal. So there's like, recruiting used to be the lifeblood because it was do or die. Like, if you didn't get those guys, your program was not going to succeed. There was really no other option.
It was the draft.
Yeah.
It was like the NFL draft, signing of a high school player.
That's right. Now, if you crap out in recruiting, you can always say, yeah, but if we hit the portal hard in spring or next year, we're fine. So like used to, this, Dunaway, like if a school didn't get a good quarterback in a signing class, there was panic.
Oh, yeah.
You got to get a good one every class. And now if you don't, I don't even know if people pay attention, really.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just the portal now seems to be the most important way you reload the roster, and it's secondary unless you're getting an uber elite talent, or unless you've got a story behind it. Give me the Georgia commitment first, Forrester. This is an interesting story. This is Justice Fitzpatrick. He's a four-star corner who is going to go to Georgia, picks Georgia over Texas and Ohio State. I don't listen to stars. Who do you pick? Yeah. Who else were in the mix?
Well, that's pretty good.
Texas and Ohio State.
Yep.
He's going to Georgia. You recognize Fitzpatrick?
It's the first thing I wondered, and then the bottom sentence answers the question. But it was when you said the name, the first question I had in mind is he related to Minkah Fitzpatrick?
He is. It's his little brother. So if he's 75% of what Minkah Fitzpatrick was at Alabama, also playing for Kirby Smart, then you got a good one there at Georgia and Justice Fitzpatrick, who's coming down to be a dog there. A couple other quick commitments, not with a story to back it up there, but you get one to Clemson for 2027, 4-star linebacker, Max Brown, who picks Clemson over Auburn. Now this is 2027. Though Dabo's commitments usually hang on for the duration, but it's a long time out. But Auburn was in the mix here. This basically came down to Clemson and Auburn. He chooses Clemson right now. We'll see if Auburn can turn him before 2027 or someone else. And then 4-star safety to Florida, Caden Hall. He picks Florida over Alabama. That was a guy that Alabama really was in on, along with Florida State. But right now he's going to the Swamp. A little college football recruiting news to start off with, but boy, that Minkah Fitzpatrick, his pro career, he's just as good in the pros as he was at Alabama.
Yep.
We just don't see them in big games as much with the Pittsburgh Steelers. His Pittsburgh Steelers time is off the radar.
He's
a
been
little
on
bit.
some average Steelers teams, is what you're saying?
He's been very 500.
I mean, that's
since he's been there.
Mike Tomlin's kind of known for that, isn't he?
Yeah, lately.
But I mean, he was Minkah Fitzpatrick right away was a stud at Alabama. I mean, he was one of those Saban recruits where everybody was like, my gosh, how does Nick Saban get these guys that
from New Jersey
that can look like NFL players as freshmen? And that's what he did, man. That was one of those where right away you knew this guy is going to be an absolute star playing in Nick Saban's and Kirby Smart's defense. And he was. And eventually the Dolphins drafted him. And then when Miami was kind of reorganizing, traded him. And he's had, like you said, he's had a good career at Pittsburgh. It just hasn't been championship-level Pittsburgh team. So maybe it goes under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, at least to the fans who don't cheer for Pittsburgh and watch him a little bit. But he's one of the best. If you're throwing out an all Saban team, Minkah Fitzpatrick always on that team for me.
As a safety?
Yeah. Safety star, however I have to put him in there. Minkah Fitzpatrick, there's no way you do a list that Minkah Fitzpatrick is not on it.
Okay, so if you do two safeties on your all Saban team, who's the other one?
Barron pops to mind.
Mark Barron, Landon Collins.
Landon Collins pops to mind. But I'm going to run. Alabama always was in the nickel, so I'm running with 5 guys back there.
Yeah. Who are your corners?
Yeah, that's where it gets really tricky.
Well, I think Pat Surtain has to be one.
Yeah. Trayvon Diggs, pretty good.
Yeah. Drake Kirkpatrick was really good at Alabama. Javier Arenas early on.
Yeah, I don't think Javier rises up to the.
Boy, he's really good.
I get Javier on the return team.
Oh, so I'm going to put him at kick returner?
Yeah, I get him on the team that way. Throw him in a dime, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, there at the end, Terrion Arnold played tremendous football. I don't know that he gets a start at corner for you.
Don't know if he can make it on the team.
I mean, that just tells you how good an all-Saban team would be. But you're probably right that Minkah would be one of your safeties, Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Especially if you play the star and you can have technically 3 safeties out there.
No, I got to get Fitzpatrick on the field.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear what you think in the chat.
You're leaving. A lot of people said you're leaving out Eddie Jackson.
I'm not leaving him out.
I don't know.
It's a work in progress.
How many safeties you gonna play?
Yeah. Eddie's not ahead of Minkah Fitzpatrick, I'll tell you that.
He was good on the return game, too.
Yeah.
So maybe you have him as a returner?
I'm just saying Minkah Fitzpatrick's on the team, and I dare you to say he's not in the chat room.
Marlon Humphrey as well as a corner.
Marlon Humphrey's going to have to be in the mix as well.
It's tough.
That ends up being a premium position during the Saban years. But always fun to think of Minkah Fitzpatrick, and we get to do that today because of Justice, his brother, committing to Georgia in the SEC. June ends up being, if you are a high school recruiter or someone who follows high school recruiting, this ends up being a very busy month. So keep an eye on your favorite team and who ends up going. But always fun to think of some of the great days of Saban's secondary, and Minkah Fitzpatrick a big part of that. We jump into some other things that are going on in college football, including Ryan Williams making some news here in this opening segment. In an interview he did with Jon Gruden, an entertaining interview if you want to see the whole thing. But he specifically, a little clapback going on between another SEC team, can't call it a rival, but they are on a 1-game win streak against Alabama. That coming up after we tell you about a couple of our great sponsors. One of them, our friends at Odie's, where it's Wednesday night, Brown.
That's right. Lance will be back from the Metallica concert a little bit later on tonight, and he and I will be at Odie's together, along with our guy Will Haver, the proprietor of the fine institution that is Odie's. We'll have trivia night tonight just after 8 o'clock. Award-winning trivia at Odie's, and you can participate with Team Trivia every Wednesday night, but any night's a great night to go to Odie's, whether it's the Crestline Village location, the original right there, or if you want to go to the new one, the Edgewood, right there in Homewood, you can do that one as well. Both great places for a great lunch with Rodney's Cheeseburgers, the south of the border roll-up, the Diablo sandwich that we love, or those big cup cocktails. Day and night, right there at Odie's Tavern, a Birmingham institution.
We got some off the beaten path. By the way, you remember when I brought up how it looked like the worms? I talked about the worms that day.
The worms?
Remember?
You saw them on the golf course?
No, I brought them up how you'd see them in the middle of a parking lot or on a sidewalk, and you're like, what was going on in the worm's head? That he's like, I'm going to leave this nice soil, and I'm going to cross basically the concrete or pavement version of the Sahara.
That's right. It's nice and cool down here. But now I'm going to get out on the asphalt.
Well, Philip, one of our great listeners, he has a little history in earth. He grows trees. He pointed out to me from the fine folks at Hunter's Trees that the worm did not set out on a journey. He was listening, catching up on the podcast. That worm did not set out on a journey that ended up him dying halfway across the concrete or asphalt parking lot. He says when you have a lot of rain, those worms get washed up.
Okay, driven to the surface?
Or, to stay alive, to keep from drowning.
That's right.
And so it's survival at that point, and some of them unfortunatally end up in the middle of a desert and can't make it out.
Well, that's a sadder ending than the way you painted it.
I know. I thought they were on some great journey,
I'm going to do it, guys.
Yeah, this time. We're going to find out what's on the other side of this striped parking lot.
I'll be back. I'll tell you guys all about it. Yeah.
But it ends up, it's just they didn't survive a heavy rain that basically they came up to stop from drowning and then got caught in the parking lot.
Wow, boy, it was a no-win for those guys, right? I either drown underground or I get run over by a car or eaten by a bird.
Yeah, or just burn up.
Sucks to be a worm.
In the summer.
Yeah.
So more deep thoughts like that later in the show as well.
Okay.
Now to Ryan Williams and Jon Gruden. If you're not following Jon Gruden's this chapter of his career, Gruden is now with Barstool Sports, and you can see a lot of his work. He's got social media, but also following Barstool and such like that. And he is doing some comprehensive stuff right now with college athletes and college teams. Go back and watch his unboxing of Nate Oates and the Alabama basketball gear. He just raves about how much he loves Nate Oates and opens up in some gear that they sent him, some really good gear.
Like the NATOs, I love this
NATO.
guy.
This guy's the best dressed guy.
I love this guy.
Yeah. But he's got an extensive interview up with Ryan Williams, Alabama star wide receiver now. And you can go see that content on Gruden's page and at Barstool as well. But here's one little snippet making the headlines this week. Ryan Williams talking about last season and the loss to Vandy.
What the hell happened to you guys against Vanderbilt?
Man, they played a better football game than us this game. We came out slow, and they capitalized. They held the ball. They had their game plan, and they executed.
What do you say to your team when you got Vanderbilt this year coming into Tuscaloosa?
Man, going into this game, it's we don't call them revenge games. So we gonna kill an ant with a sledgehammer this year. So I mean, just every game that we fell short last year, we definitely got red eyes going into them.
Yeah, kill an ant with a sledgehammer is what popped out there. Now, I think he was talking about any of the revenge games or the coming back winning, but ant with a sledgehammer caught Diego Pavia a little off guard. Diego responds on social media. We won't play all the lyrics to the Gucci Mane song, but the part that he wanted to emphasize was they acting like they tough, but don't want no confrontation. I'll say that again for those in the back. They acting like they tough, but don't want no confrontation, from Diego Pavia, clapping back at the smoke Ryan Williams is throwing out. That for my friends at On3 Sports there. Ryan Williams, he's Hollywood, man. He's going to talk a little bit.
Well, here's the thing. Like, watching that, and I saw when it started to circulate yesterday, I thought, well, I'll go watch it before I form an opinion here, because the way it was getting circulated was Ryan Williams refers to Vandy as an ant, basically. Ryan Williams insults Vandy. And the way he said that, it did make it sound like he was calling Vandy an ant. We're going to kill an ant with a sledgehammer. And then he, I think, maybe realized that in real time and tried to clean up the fact that we're taking that approach with anybody we lost to. It's not, he didn't say this, but essentially saying it's not just Vandy. I'm assuming that is some of the in-building language they're using, rhetoric they're using, is let's kill an ant with a sledgehammer. In other words, let's don't overlook any opponent. Take a sledgehammer to every opponent you play, whether it's an ant or an elephant.
Yeah.
Take a sledgehammer to that opponent and make sure they're dead.
Well, there's no, ant and sledgehammer. There's no second guessing the outcome.
That's right. Nobody tries to kill an ant with a sledgehammer, right? But if you want,
there's no return punch from the ant at that point.
And you send a message to all the other ants out there, or any other animal that's watching, like, oh my God, they're going to use a sledgehammer to kill an ant. What are they going to use to kill me, right? I mean, that's the thought process you would want to have. It's a different version of what Nick Saban used to say, is I want people to hate playing Alabama. And I think that's the mindset that Kalen DeBoer is trying to get this team back to, is let's make people hate playing us. If we're Alabama, I want people to hate playing us. When they see us on the schedule, I want it to be, oh my God, we got to play Alabama. Not, all right, we get to play Alabama. I mean, that's the way you normally think about Vandy.
Well, that's the way Nick Saban sort of built the program when he got there, was let's make them never want to play with Alabama. Right. They don't want to play us.
That's right.
If you were during the Saban heyday, if you were in your early 20s or a student at Alabama, the old term murder ball comes up. Now, we refer to that usually with the dominant run game and the smothering strangulation of a defense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to think of Ryan Williams and a Kalen DeBoer offense as murder ball, but I think, just the dominance, however you do it, doesn't have to be, running Derrick Henry at you 40 times and just pounding you into the sand. However you do it, that's what you want to bring back a little bit of murder ball.
You do. You want that to be your MO, and Alabama got away from that, not in the DeBoer era, in the Saban era. They never could really capture, like we've discussed this before, where was the line of demarcation where Alabama's joyless murder ball kind of ended. And I think we've agreed that line of demarcation was 2020. Haven't we agreed upon that? That kind of after Najee Harris, they just never really recaptured that I can line up and run it for 5 yards if I need to run it for 5 yards.
Talented offensive lines, talented running backs, but for some reason, and maybe it's the style of quarterback you had with Bryce Young and afterwards, but you haven't been able to impose your will, if you will, on opposing defenses by if it's 3rd and 2, we can just line up and we can get to 2 yards
right.
anytime
And
we want.
You know we're running.
Yeah.
You know we're running, and it doesn't
we can
matter.
tell you where we're going to run.
That's right. That's the old story about Nate Newton. And Troy Aikman's like, I used to get so pissed off at Nate Newton because we'd come to the line of scrimmage on a 3rd and short, and he would start yelling across the line of scrimmage, we're coming this way, they're running behind me. And Troy was like, and I knew we were running behind Nate, and he was telling them, but he didn't care because he knew he was that good. And he wanted the opponent on the other side to start thinking in his mind, they know they've got us beat. A guy doesn't come to the line of scrimmage and tell you where he's going to run the ball unless they know they got us beat. And that was Nate Newton's thinking. And that's kind of the attitude you want to have. Now, listen, it's not just Alabama. Where does that attitude really live in college football anymore? Give me a team where you think
Michigan
has done it.
When they were at the top of the game, Michigan was doing it.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, they famously went to Penn State and went an entire second half without throwing a pass, did they not? Am I right about that?
That's exactly right. The Georgia Bulldogs until last year.
I know. Georgia has gotten away from it a little bit too.
Or they just couldn't do it. I don't know if they gotten away from it. They could not they had NFL first-round draft picks or second round. I mean, they had early round draft picks on that offensive line and could not impose their will on running the football. I'm trying to think of who was the best at running the football. If Lance was here, Ashton Genty and Boise State.
Well, they were.
Not against the same competition. In the SEC and the Big Ten of people that just want to line up and run the football. I mean, Texas was pretty good at it last year. Notre Dame was really good at it last year.
But keep in mind, there were times Texas, and I'm not saying I don't. You tell me, does this fall under murder ball when I have to bring my mobile quarterback in to run? Short yardage. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think 2006 Florida when it was Chris Leak and Tim Tebow, when Tebow came in.
That's a good point.
I mean, they're going to line it up and run it. I mean, the Eagles did it very well last year in the NFL.
They did. Yeah. It's their starting. I'll point out that's their starting quarterback.
Well, I'm just saying Saquon Barkley changed the way.
Yeah.
I mean, I think is changing the way NFL teams are looking at rebuilding their rosters now.
Yeah. So Landmine Believer, we stopped punishing teams once we got Tua and just tried to outskill them. Now, that goes back before 2020 when I said it's kind of my line of demarcation, but maybe he's right about that. So that's post-Derrick Henry and into the Tua regime.
Well, I think part of that, to Landmine Believer, is that the receiving room became so talented.
You could not throw.
Yeah. You sort of played to your strengths.
Yeah. Najee Harris was still on that team, though, and Najee Harris was a very, very good running back for Alabama. Daniel says when the offense changed, the psyche changed a little. I kind of agree with him. I think
when Lane Kiffin started to change it, I remember Lane Kiffin changed the offense, but he still had Derrick Henry.
Yeah, well, Lane Kiffin, a lot of people see Lane Kiffin as this offensive guy, and they discount his dedication to running the football. Lane still likes to run the football a lot, and you mentioned Derrick Henry. All you got to do is look back at that year when I think Derrick Henry had 395 carries. 395 carries in a college football season under Lane Kiffin. And was, by the way, just as fresh on the 395th carry as he was on the first one. That's a testament to Derrick Henry. It's probably more when Sark came. I think Sark, it's interesting you brought up Texas, because I think Sarkisian's offense was a little less of that, and it's kind of where Alabama, to me, started to get away from it a little bit and just never got it back.
Yeah, when you have elite quarterback and elite wide receivers, it's hard to not take big plays. And can't argue with the way 2020 worked out, and really you can't argue with the way 2021 worked out, except for the injuries and the final outcome of the national championship game to Georgia. And you were in a pretty good place in 2023, and we'll see what Alabama and Kalen DeBoer can do this year with a different quarterback room. More on that in just a second if you'll get cut one ready to go for me, Tyler. The show being brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services today. Boy, it's 85 with some rain today, but we're about to kick into the 90s. It's about time. I mean, it's June.
Yeah, boy.
June 4th now. It is time to kick into the 90s. It's not too late, though, to get that air conditioning cooling system checked from our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, and again, these folks are fantastic with your big business buildings as well. They're ready to serve you just like they've been doing since the 1950s here in Central Alabama. It's our friends at Hemp Hill Services. You can call them 205-229-2090. 229-2090. They always bring you lanceslock.com. QR code there for Lance's Lock on the screen if you're watching us on the video platform. But if it ain't running right, draining right, or flowing right, our friends at Hemp Hill can take care of you. 205-229-2090. And our friend Alexander Shunnarah, trial attorneys.
Yeah, when you find yourself in need of an attorney, start with Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Headquartered in Birmingham for more than 24 years. They've grown to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members, and they've recovered more than $2 billion. Shunnarah.com. How have they gotten $2 billion for their clients? Well, they've maintained Alexander's core values: integrity, mastery, passion, and success. Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com. Shunnarah.com.
All right, Kalen DeBoer down at the SEC meetings was asked about the quarterback room without Jalen Milroe. Maybe back to a more Kalen DeBoer-looking offense. Here's the Alabama coach talking about how this quarterback room, led right now by Ty Simpson, looks to be a little different than last year in T-Town.
Well, I think with Jalen, he just had he had added elements to his game, right? So, I mean, he could throw the ball, but you had to make sure you were utilizing to benefit your team the things he could do with his legs. And, I think that making sure you're incorporating more offense where he can take advantage of that and we can take advantage of that, then forces you to have to figure out where are you taking away, because there's still only so many snaps you play in a game or a season. Who's touching the ball, and it's going to take away from someone else, and you're trying to figure out that balancing act, and a lot of it has to depend on the other personnel you have around him. And that will continue to be the case as we move forward this year. We do have probably with three guys that are more alike than different, because Jalen was certainly different. I mean that in a positive way. I mean that with the utmost respect for what Jalen's game's all about, because he's got some special elements to his game when it comes to running that really I have never been able to coach, or very few have seen.
Again, you got to coach the talent you got.
Yeah.
Which, sometimes you got great receivers and a great mobile quarterback. You don't run the ball as much as you used to. Last year, probably ran the quarterback more than this guy. Kalen DeBoer is used to running the quarterback, and probably more than he wanted to run the quarterback.
I mean, if I wanted to go like super psychologist and dig deep into that quote and try to break it apart and say, this is what Kalen DeBoer was really saying, if I wanted to do that, I would say Kalen DeBoer right there was really saying, we inherited a quarterback that's got a really good skill set, and he was a good college quarterback, and hopefully he'll flourish in the NFL, but it wasn't really a skill set we were comfortable from our history in dealing with, but he was kind of the starter we had to start.
Yep.
And it got us in some places we were kind of uncomfortable offensively as coaches. I mean, you could break down that quote and say that's kind of what Kalen DeBoer was saying. And then on top of that saying, I feel like this next set of quarterbacks here is a little more what we've been comfortable with over the years and probably will be more comfortable in play calling with.
I think that's fair and spot on. So a little Alabama football to start you. Auburn earlier this week, 27th in our 40-40 countdown. Alabama still down the road a little bit. Before we get to them in our 40-40, we'll do our 40-40 team today in our next segment. And then Brandon Marcello joins us late in the show to talk more college football with everything going on. I got a couple of sheets here of college football stuff. I got a little NFL. I've got a four downs that involves a celebrity birthday of one of my favorite. I don't know if you guys have a top 5 Sports Illustrated model, swimsuit model, but this girl made my top 5 for sure if I did one.
Oh, really? I don't know that I have one. I know your number one was Brooklyn Decker.
Brooklyn Decker was number 1.
I remember that from our AM radio days.
Yeah, I like Kate Upton a little bit too.
Yeah.
So So this girl's a top fiver for me, too. It's her birthday today. We'll get to that in 4 downs coming up a little bit later on. I don't really actually have a list, but in my head there's a running one. And there, you know, when you do a running list, sometimes, you can do, like Brown does this sometimes.
Okay.
Oh, that's definitely a top 5, top 10 quarterback in the NFL, or top 5, top 10 team in the country. And when we're through with the conversation, he ends up with like 14 people or 14 teams. And I'm like, yeah, that's a top 10 team, Brown, but you named 14 of those.
I like to put who's in the discussion, too. Give everybody their due.
Well, that's sort of flowers. I don't necessarily have a list of all-time models.
Right. But if you did.
But that runway show the other night was on my social media feed.
You saw Livy Dunn in that houndstooth bikini?
Livy Dunn.
Was that a houndstooth bikini? Am I right about that?
I don't know.
Oh, you didn't notice the bikini?
It wasn't much of one, Brownie. My eyes couldn't see the bikini. It's so small these days.
It was quite tiny, but I do believe it was houndstooth print, if I am not mistaken.
Bring it back later when you got time to find it.
Tyler.
Bring it back later, Tyler, when you got time to bring it in. But it was that, and the girl that sings Blue Strips or whatever, she's an Alabama girl. She's from up there.
Blue Strip.
God, what's her name now?
You're not thinking of Ella Langley, are you?
No, she's an Alabama girl too. Yeah. Country on the country scene.
Yeah.
No, this girl is Jessie Murph.
Jessie Murph.
Yeah, Jessie Murph.
Oh, she's from up at the Shoals, I think.
Yeah, she's an Alabama girl too. How about two of the hottest female artists out there?
Ella Langley and Jessie Murph.
Yep, are both Alabama girls.
Yeah. Lainey Wilson married an Alabama guy.
Yeah, take that, Megan Maroney.
That's right.
Your Tennessee Orange. Get that Tennessee Orange out of here. All right, when we come back, we will do our 40 and 40 team and talk about maybe a coach. Can he really get the Aggies to where they want to go? The Texas A&M Aggies. That's part of the conversation as we continue on to the other side, brought to you by our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Our friends at UCA, staying on top of your health with 16 location guys. Let me tell you, at Urology Centers of Alabama, prostate health, the kidney stones, everything in between there, vasectomies. If you get to that point in your life, you want to do that, they handle that for you at urologycentersalabama.com. You can get details there, urologycentersalabama.com. Again, I told you, 16 locations to help you stay on top of your health. Early detection literally saves your life. So schedule and make an appointment today, 205-930-0920, 930-0920, or urologycentersalabama.com.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
All right, Auburn fans, I want you to become a member of thebarnauburn.com and join in on the fun. Whether it's recruiting discussions, off-season chatter, or the latest Auburn athletics news, we've got it all. Get $25 off your annual subscription when you sign up for your account at thebarnauburn.com today. War Eagle.
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, back with you on the next round as we're 80 days away from week 0 of college football. We're about to jump back in that. I enjoy my friends who start texting me instantly. Hey, I'm at work, but somebody's texting me, did you just mention my worm theory on the show? Thank you, Philip, for not listening, but also contributing by text.
Well, he was like a week late on even responding to the worm thing, so I assume he listens to us on demand.
He does. He catches up all the time. He's the guy who told us, you know, we get a lot of people who say, yeah, God, I hate that you guys left radio. I hate that you guys left radio. Philip was the one that said to me instantly, he's like, I love that you guys left radio because now it takes me 8 hours during the day, but I had listened to all 3 hours of your show. Back in the day, I would only catch snippets of your show, but now I get all 3 hours every day. It just takes me 8 hours to do it. I'll go into a meeting and I'll come back and I'll start listening, hit play again, and boom, here we go. And I haven't missed anything. Don't have to jump in and out. So that's one advantage. Our buddy Josh Pate sending out a quarterback ranking right now. We will get to that coming up in a moment. I'm already kidding with Pate online here that he has his graphics department messed something up there. So a little disagreement on the rankings.
I noticed who he left out.
Yeah, I will tell you this, that the quarterback debate in the SEC this year is all over the place, and we'll jump into that leading into our team in just a second here. But as we have sent out ours, we differ on all of ours. Pate differs from us, and it's all over the board. There's no Tua Tagovailoa. There's no Cam Newton. There's no whoever. I guess Cam. Right. We didn't know what Cam was going to be. There's no surefire number 1, number 2 guy. And we'll talk about that in just a second. The show being brought to you by our friends today at Woodhouse Day Spa. A chance to jump in and relax and get a massage and, facials and, waxing, whatever you need at Woodhouse Day Spa.
That's right. As the summer continues, you go ahead and get mom that great gift or that loved one in your life or a couple's massage. My wife and I have done that at Woodhouse Day Spa. It's fantastic. Birmingham.woodhousespas.com is the website. You can book an appointment there. You can buy a gift card there. You just get all the information at Woodhouse Day Spas there at the Summit. Just a terrific place to go. As I said, my wife and I have enjoyed it. I know Jim, Lance, our family members, the girls up here, E.G. and Little T have both been there. Woodhouse Spas. Birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Birmingham.woodhousespas.com.
All right. 40 and 40 in a second, but there's a home up for sale, and I'm more intrigued by the responses to this home being put on the market than I am the actual home that's going on the market. Kyle Busch, NASCAR driver, is selling. I don't know. Forrester, give me Forrester's mic. I think this is his main home, right? Or is it a secondary home or what?
I do not get the impression that this is the main home.
Okay.
This is he's called it a barn dominium.
Barn dominium.
I don't
okay.
think Kyle Busch lives in a barn dominium.
Okay, so it's not his main home; it's his secondary home. But he is selling this 14,383 square feet in the barn dominium, 35 acres of land. You can get more information on Zillow. Forrester, the price for this, you say it's not his main property. I mean, it looks, that's a lot of land, a lot of property, but maybe it's a farmland, whatever. Cool pool. What's the price tag on this thing?
$4.5 million.
Are you kidding me?
$4.5 million
for an aluminum siding building I live in.
Is that aluminum siding?
Yeah.
I mean, most barn dominiums are.
Yeah. I mean, that's what a barn dominium is. It's just an aluminum siding building. I mean, it's a trendy thing right now, the barn dominium is. I cannot imagine paying to $4.5 million to live in almost 15,000 square feet of aluminum siding. I'm just saying that. And to each his own. Look, that's, somebody.
A lot of property, though.
It is a lot of property, Scott, and a pool. But it is, it's also a barn dominium for $4.5 million. I just know what else $4.5 million could get you house-wise.
Yeah. I don't.
That's all I'm saying.
I don't run through all the comments here, but just a couple of them as you continue to show the listing on Zillow from Kyle Busch. Silas writes in, I'll trade you a 2004 Chevy Avalanche for it.
It's not $4 million.
Frost writes, it's worth $350,000 max.
All right, people are saying it's hardy plank. Actually, Maverick Hammerfist is saying it's hardy plank, not aluminum siding. But I stand by my same thoughts there.
Richard says, listen, dude, have you lost all your money? Are you that broke that you have to advertise this yourself? I mean, it's just brutal out there for Kyle Busch. Come on, man.
That's a general sign, though, that it didn't sell the way he wanted it to initially. So I'm going to have to pop this thing on my social media with a bunch of followers to see if I can sell it.
A different Ryan on Twitter saying, the way you're driving right now, I'll race you for it. Because he's not racing well. And this Ryan guy, I'll race you for it.
Yeah.
That I can outdrive you for it. Yeah. So Kyle Busch selling his home there. I think it's a great look. I mean, I know you're killing it for its structural texture, I guess, but I think it looks like a lot of fun.
RTD4 in the chat says Brown throwing shade at barn dominiums like only poors would live in one.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm not going to pay $4.5 million for a barn to live in. It literally is in the title, Tyler, barn dominium.
No, I agree with you.
I don't. It looks cool as crap to me. I would take it right now. If I had all the money in the world, I would
live in that.
I would love the barn dominium.
So most of it's got to be like, most of the price has to be the 35 acres of land.
That's a lot of land.
It, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of land. I don't know where this land is. I assume somewhere in North Carolina.
Yeah, it's in Cleveland, North Carolina.
Is that real grass around the pool?
That's probably the better Cleveland.
Wait a
if I got to live in one?
I was in Cleveland for a lifetime during the NCAA basketball tournament.
Lifetime 4 days?
And the sun shined for about 30 minutes. But it was not a bad town. I enjoyed it.
What about Cleveland, Tennessee?
You went to their biggest landmark, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Have you gotten his review on that?
Yeah. It was not
good. You dogged it.
Yeah. It's very underwhelming.
Good people, though. It was good people.
What was the best part about it other than Alabama basketball winning? Give me the positive of Cleveland, Ohio, and the time you were there.
The fact that you and I stumbled across.
I wasn't there.
No, we found a really cool hotel that is just starting up. That's going to be a star in Cleveland, the Fidelity Hotel.
So the hotel was cool.
Yeah, seriously, that was one of the best hotels I've ever stayed in.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't great amenities, but the fact that what we paid for it and that we found it, and the media was across the street in a crappy hotel with, mold on the walls and stuff like that. I was like, not me, buddy. I'm at the Fidelity. What's that? I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
Us either. We just found it.
That's right. It was one of the better values at hotels.com.
Used to be Fidelity Insurance.
Yeah.
The food, nope. Weather, nope.
See? Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Nope.
Yeah. I could walk everywhere.
Okay.
Did a lot of that in my dress shoes, so I'm still suffering from plantar fasciitis on my right ankle from that walking back and forth miles.
By the way, Richard agrees.
Sucked.
Richard agrees with you. Cleveland is a depressing city, and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is not a good experience.
Yeah. For some reason, I like the people, though. The people were good.
That's fine. That's good.
The people that choose to live there to guard that part of the Great Lakes for the great United States of America. I appreciate them settling that part of the country for us.
Jim basically said, well, you know what my favorite part of Cleveland was? The departing flight.
Yeah.
When we took off.
Yeah. I couldn't even fly there very easily. So
I was like, one of my buddies was like, he was at Disney because you know what my favorite ride was? I said, what? He goes, the Disney Magic Express back to the airport.
Not me. I love Disney. All right, our 40 and 40 team coming up after I tell you about our friends at New Life Art. New Life, painting great sports memories. I don't know if our 40 and 40 team will have any this year, but they're poised to possibly be there because we're at 25 in the rankings. Alabama's had a lot of them, even in basketball. We talk about Daniel A. Moore's football prints all the time, danielmooreart.com, danielmooreart.com, for this basketball print. New Life Art limited edition buzzer beater with Mark Sears dropping a dime to win at Auburn this year. You can get that and all the other great works right now. Check them out online at danielmooreart.com. danielmooreart.com, promo code TNR to get a little discount there. danielmooreart.com and all the great football works over the years. You can check them all out online and pick out one of your favorites to give it up for Father's Day coming up, danielmooreart.com. And by our friends at Champions Boxing Brownie, they bring you the 40 and 40 every day.
Yeah, Champions Boxing in Pelham, great workout. It is a unique workout, right? I mean, how often have you actually boxed? Do you know how many calories you can burn? Lance and his son Jack have been doing it regularly now, and Lance telling us how much weight he is actually losing doing this. So it's not just going out and maybe learning some self-defense or a way to win a fight. It's actually a way to get in better shape with our friends at Champions Boxing. You can find them right there in Pelham Parkway, Commerce Parkway in Pelham, 102 Commerce Parkway, or give them a call, 205-358-8176. Akash, Mailman, all the gang there. Tell them the next round sent you. Say, I want to get in shape at Champions Boxing. Champions Boxing in Pelham. They are bringing you the 40 and 40 every single day.
Yep, and that gets us into our top 25 voted on by you guys. At number 25, here comes Gig'em. Texas A&M sliding in at 25 earlier this week. We've given you Auburn and Indiana at 27-26. Now another SEC team in at 25. Here comes the Aggies. And first, let's go back, Brown, before we talk about this year's team.
Okay.
Last year's team was 7-1, and then they went 1-4 down the stretch. Remember when Mike Elko, really all they needed to do was to win at Auburn and then beat rival Texas, and they were likely going to be in the playoffs. Here's Mike Elko last year before making the trip to Jordan-Hare Stadium with this misstep.
I don't think it's an issue. I think when you're in the situation we're in, it's easy to focus on the task at hand. I think, those big games earlier in the year, maybe you look ahead. If we didn't have at stake what's at stake, maybe you would worry about it. I think our focus is single-handedly on on Auburn right now and locked in on what we got to get done.
I've forgotten all about that. And what happened, Jim? They go to Auburn and they lose the game, and that's where it started to turn for them. It really did.
It did. And that's where it fell apart.
It did.
And they end up going 1-4 down the stretch, and they get Marcel Reed back this year. That's good.
Yeah, it is good. Marcel Reed was a guy that down that stretch was the starting quarterback. And let me just give you how he finished the season once he kind of took over as the starter. And you tell me how this strikes you. Against South Carolina in a loss, 44-20, 206 passing yards, touchdown, interception. All these he completed somewhere around 65% of his passes. Against New Mexico State, 2 touchdowns and a pick, threw for 268 yards. At Auburn in that loss, 43-41. 297 passing yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Against Texas in the loss, just 146 and a pick. So that was the bad game he had in that stretch. But let me just give you these numbers, and I think you'll see it wasn't Marcel Reed's fault. Loss at South Carolina, 44-20. Loss at Auburn, 43-41. Their defense was giving up way, way, way too much in those road games against SEC opponents. And that was really where it started to fall apart. As you pointed out, after that loss to Notre Dame, they had reeled off a bunch of wins in a row, and they finish 1-4 down the stretch in their last 5 games.
What they did in the offseason to try to help Marcel out is they brought in a lot of receivers, including Casey Concepcion and Mario Craver. They hope to be better there. But Mike Elko's defense is what he's known for. And I wonder, is Mike Elko the coach to get the Aggies to where they want to be? So here's my question for Mike Elko. What do you think of him as a head coach?
I think we put a lot of stock into the good year he had at Duke. And I even need to. That was a 9-win season, right?
Seems like it.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of them.
And I think we put a lot of stock in that. And we're like, my gosh, if he can do that at Duke, what else, why can't he do it elsewhere? It was 9-4, and he followed it up with a 7-5. So 16-9 at Duke, 9-7 overall in the ACC. And you look at that and you're like, boy, if you can do that at Duke, you could win big elsewhere. I mean, he's 8-5 at Texas A&M. So the guy's had a 9-4, an 8-5, and a 7-5. So what is the real Mike Elko? Is he an 8-win coach? If so, that's all Texas A&M's ever really had. Texas A&M is an 8-win program. They can't shake that. It's all they've ever been is an 8-win program. They've spent a ton of money. They have all the resources, and they're an 8-win program. I think Mike Elko, for me, is an 8-win coach. He's got to prove, until he proves otherwise, I think he's the perfect coach for what Texas A&M has always been. He's an 8-win coach. And I don't know if he's able to change that this year. I think when you go to Notre Dame, what is that, week 2? When they're at Notre Dame?
Yes.
That is what the old phrase, a bellwether game. They say they use that in elections. This is a bellwether election or bellwether county or whatever. To me, that is a bellwether game for Texas A&M. Actually, their third game. I apologize because they've got UTSA and Utah State in front of that. At Notre Dame will tell you a lot of what you need to know. This was a team last year that Notre Dame kind of controlled. They couldn't get anything going offensively. How much have they improved year over year? And you're catching Notre Dame in a slight rebuild at quarterback and some other spots there. So
I think the Auburn game's not more important, but I think Auburn will tell you more about where Texas A&M is this year than the Notre Dame game.
Why so?
I think you can lose the Notre Dame game.
Oh, you can. Yeah, and you're fine.
You can still be a really good team and lose the Notre Dame game. I don't think you can lose the Auburn game at home and be a really good team. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Like
there.
I can go on the road at where Notre Dame is right now with Notre Dame's talent if they have a quarterback that's any good and lose that game, and I still can be a really good team in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I can lose to Auburn at home after losing to them last year and still navigate the rest of my schedule and be a really good team. Because if I lose to Auburn at home, regardless of what happens in South Bend, then all of a sudden, Florida at home, at Arkansas, LSU at home, at LSU, at Missouri, South Carolina, and on the road at Texas, all those games are in play for me then, and now I'm fighting just to get to a bowl game. So to me, regardless of what happens at Notre Dame, that Auburn game sort of tells me a lot, probably about Auburn too, but that's a big game for Texas A&M.
I will say this. If you drop a home SEC game, you're still faced with a trip to Tiger Stadium and a trip to Texas at the end of the year. Texas, who beat you 17-7 in your place last year, and you also have to go to Tiger Stadium. So, I mean, and that's not to mention other home games you've got against Florida, against South Carolina. You got a road trip to Arkansas and Missouri.
Where is Texas A&M for you? If I said, are they ahead of Florida, or are they behind Florida this year? Are they ahead of Auburn or behind Auburn?
I think Florida is going to be better. I think them and Auburn are about the same.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Florida's going to be a better team.
Oklahoma better than Texas A&M this year?
I don't know. I mean, I think they could be, but we always talk about Oklahoma's schedule. That is such a difficult slate that they've got. Even if they're better, it might not show it in the record.
Yeah. Tennessee, with the quarterback change, Tennessee better than Texas A&M?
I think these are all teams that are in that group of like 5 to 11. I don't know if it's the actual number there. I'm just saying kind of that 5 to 11 group.
I agree with you.
They're all a lot alike.
They're all right there in the roux. If you're making a jumbo, a jambalaya, what am I making? A gumbo. If I'm making an SEC gumbo,
that's right.
They're all in the roux right there.
Yeah.
You got the good stuff. You got the Conecuh sausage that is Texas and Georgia and Alabama and a little shrimp in there. That is LSU, but in the roux,
I think they're in that group.
There's all that group there.
I mean, I feel like it's another 8-win team. I really do. Like, I look at this. If you just said, okay, make a case for 8-win Texas A&M, I think it's kind of easy. They lose at Notre Dame. They lose at LSU. They lose at Texas. And then there's just, another loss jumps up and gets them. Like, I can give you 3 what I feel like pretty easy losses for them. Well, I shouldn't say it that way, but, I mean, believable losses, I guess, is the way I'm trying to say it. At Notre Dame, at LSU, and at Texas. I mean, you lose those 3 road games, I think they'll find another loss in there. I think it's another 8-4 squad. It's just kind of who Texas A&M has become.
With that schedule, 8-4 is probably a pretty good season at that point.
I mean, I guess I don't know how LSU fans or Texas A&M fans will feel about that. I mean, you brought up.
Well, save it for 4 downs because I got a question that will reflect that a little bit.
But I was going to say, you brought up, even after that loss to Auburn, I don't know if you remember this, going into the Texas game, if A&M wins that game, they play in the SEC championship.
That's right.
They were the actual representative instead of Texas.
Which I believe would have guaranteed them a spot in the playoffs.
Well, I mean, that's the belief, is that if you play in Atlanta, you are in the playoffs. But they lost 17-7 to Texas, and that knocked them out of it. But, yeah, they would have been in the SEC championship game if they just find a way to win there.
Viewing menu from Tyler in a second. But first, Brownie, tell us about our friends at Bojangles, a chance to jump on that chicken train early today.
Yes, sir, Jimmy D. It can always be bow time there at Bojangles for you, from sweet to heat. Bojangles has 7 sauces that will definitely add a little extra flavor for you. Nothing pairs better with the sauces than the hand-breaded tenders. So if you're looking for sweet, try honey mustard or add some tang with barbecue. If you're looking for some heat, try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. If you're craving smooth and creamy, then house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, or classic Bo sauce ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles and order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's Bo time.
All right, Michelson's viewing menu. More on Michelson in a second. But, Tyler, what are you watching tonight?
All right, tonight I have got access to an early screener for the newest movie in the John Wick franchise called Ballerina. It stars Ana de Armas as the main character, and Keanu Reeves will also pop up in this movie as John Wick. It's set between John Wick 3 and 4 and centers around the Ruska Roma Russian assassin organization that uses a ballet as cover.
Oh, so
that's a lot there.
So it's you're saying John Wick will make an appearance in a John Wick movie? Like, just a brief appearance?
Yes, it's a spinoff.
Oh, it's a spinoff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I see. So you've got early access to this. People seem to be excited about this online.
Oh, definitely. I think John Wick is one of the most influential action franchises of the modern era. Every action movie nowadays tries to stylize it like John Wick did.
Yeah, and so this is spinning off from this maybe makes it more interesting than if it was just another John Wick movie then, right?
It could. I'm interested to see what they do with John Wick 5 because the director of the first 4 movies announced that he was making a John Wick 5, but I'm interested to see how they expand the world because this, I don't believe, has any involvement from the original team of writers and directors.
Now, Brown, you have never seen John Wick, right?
I've seen John Wick, yeah.
Okay, wow. I've seen no John Wick movies.
Yeah.
Zero.
I think I've seen the very first one.
I think
that's the only one I've seen.
But
yeah.
they're all great. In my opinion.
How many are there total?
4.
Okay, I've seen the very first one. Yeah.
I don't think I like action movies. What's the best action movie of all time?
Oh wow.
I mean, I think John Wick's one of the best ones in my opinion.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. Maybe I should start there and see if I like action movies. What's another one?
I mean, Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible's great.
Don't love those.
What?
Scott says Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Die Hard. Okay. What about Jurassic Park?
I like Die Hard, but wasn't that like the 80s?
90s.
90s.
Okay.
The sequels are not good.
No.
Yeah. No.
Fast and Furious turned into an action franchise.
Nope. Never watched any of those.
I guess Rambo.
Liked
First Blood.
I like the one when he was in Vietnam and he comes up out of the water. You can see his eyes. Then he starts walking down the stream. Then kills a bunch of people. I like that one.
I put Terminator 2 up there too.
Terminator, yeah.
Terminator 2 is a great action movie.
Never seen that one?
Terminator, I'll Be Back? Is that? Nope. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen Terminator either.
You amaze me, Brown.
Wow.
Brown?
I'm not.
I thought you said you hadn't seen Terminator 2.
Oh, I haven't. I haven't seen either Terminator.
I don't think I'm a big Terminator. I'm not an action movie guy.
Jim's a rom-com guy. I don't know if you guys have ever picked up on this.
I do. I don't. But I mean,
I just don't. I don't know how you avoid some of these movies, Brown.
But Top Gun,
I don't actively try.
Is Top Gun, was that an action movie?
Yeah, that's an action movie. Yeah.
Okay, I like
Fantastic.
Top Gun, both in the first one and the second one. I guess I've seen some of these.
How have you not seen Terminator? Like, how do you miss that?
I've never watched it. So here's the thing. Like, I'll sit down. So Scott, if I sit down and I've got 2 hours or 3 hours, and I'm like, okay, what movie do I want to see? None of these ever come back to mind. I never think Jurassic Park or Die Hard or Terminator or all these. I never see them. Like, I never think to. So I'll just start scrolling through Netflix or Amazon or whatever until there's a movie that pops up that I want to see, and it's never any of those. That's how I miss them.
You know, I guess I saw Mission Impossible. The first one Tom Cruise was in.
Yeah. Davey brings up the Bourne series. The Bourne series is action.
Oh,
I like the Bourne series.
Solid.
Yeah.
I liked all of those.
Yeah, I very much like the Bourne series.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Just Grok rating the greatest action movies of all time: Die Hard, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Do you guys put Aliens in there?
Yeah, Aliens is an action movie. The original Alien is more of a horror movie. But James Cameron, who directed Terminator 2, did Aliens.
Mad Max Fury Road pops up here.
Oh, that one's great.
The Dark Knight pops up here.
I've seen The Dark Knight.
I love all that stuff. I love that. The Matrix is on this list. So it's...
you guys would hate The Matrix.
I've never seen The Matrix.
Yeah, it's not for you.
Yeah. Bourne is here. Heat's on here.
I like it when you let me know that, Tyler.
A lot of John Wick on here. All right. What else, Tyler? What else you watching tonight?
There's a new Netflix series called Power Moves with Shaquille O'Neal. In this candid documentary series, NBA legends Shaquille O'Neal and Allen Iverson work to revive Reebok's legacy and find a rising star to rep the brand. I believe they purchased Reebok a couple years ago, and they've been trying to get it to have some cultural relevance again.
Isn't New Balance, Reebok same people now?
No, Adidas and Reebok were same people for a while.
Okay. Because I thought that was part of the Cooper Flag NIL, but I guess not. Somebody else, I believe. Maybe it's the kid, the $6 million kid coming back to Florida. Maybe he's got a little bit
Flynn?
No.
Oh, that other guy. Yeah.
The kid from
Xavier
Princeton.
Lee.
Yeah. Maybe he's got a little Reebok deal too. What else, Tyler?
And then finally, Hulu has added every Predator movie. That's another great action franchise.
Never seen any of those either.
Again, they're probably not for you.
They're probably not my genre.
Yeah, it's an alien that hunts down people.
Yeah,
and they
doesn't sound like someone like
infrared and stuff.
Is Predator not with the good-looking girl that breaks out of the glass, and then she's like, they're hunting for her because she broke out of the experiment, and then she's in her hotel. She picks up a guy at the bar, and she ends up eating him in the hotel room. And
wow,
is that not Predator? Good-looking girl.
I don't know what you're thinking.
Picks up a guy in a bar and then eats him in the hotel room.
Yeah. Like she's really attractive.
Normally I can get in his head.
It's not Predator. I know what you're talking about, Jim.
Oh, you've seen this, Scott.
I'm familiar with it.
She's like locked in a glass cell, and using her sex appeal, she convinces the guy who's on the overnight to open up the glass, and then she eats him, I think, and then escapes. And now
Species?
Oh yeah,
Species is what people are saying.
Now that's a good action movie.
Okay,
I actually do know about that movie.
Yeah. So is that a believable plot though? It sounds very believable. It's a documentary basically.
Michelson brings you that viewing menu there, brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision Browning.
Yeah, LASIK surgery. Doctors Mark and Jennifer Michelson. It's a father-daughter duo, and they are pioneers in the field of LASIK surgery. Lance basically was legally blind and ended up getting fighter pilot vision after his LASIK surgery. You can do the same. 969-8100 is the website, or michelsonlaservision.com for that risk-free evaluation. Go see if they can change your life the way they did Lance's and so many others. michelsonlaservision.com, 969-8100 for Michelson Laser Vision. They bring you the viewing menu every single day.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Hey, you. Days warming up. Looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
More college football discussion in this segment in just a second. We're going to bounce to a couple of other things I want to get out quickly about basketball before we get back to football. It'll be very quickly for you non-basketball fans out there. But the show being brought to you by our friends at Way to Wellness. Quickly, you can start dropping some weight as well. Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Planforme.com. Planforme.com is the website where you can get all the details you want right there at Way to Wellness on how you can jumpstart your weight loss and control some vital numbers like cholesterol and blood pressure. There's no contract. There's no sign-up fee, and your first consultation is free. I remember my first consultation with Leslie when I went in there, and she laid it out, a menu of a variety of different things that now includes injection therapy. But for me, there was whole meal replacements where I get, easy-to-prepare meals from them. That was something that didn't work with my schedule. And then we came up with, Jim, I think protein bars that just filled your time before you got to a healthy lunch or dinner would work for you. And it has. And I maintain the weight now. And they have ways to encourage you and help support you along the way. To get all the details right there at aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com, Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. All right. Do you have the Josh Pate list of quarterbacks? Forrester, Josh Pate has sent these out today. His preseason quarterback rankings, of which I texted to him quickly and said, your heads up, Josh. Your graphics department screwed up. You got Nussmeier at 4 instead of 1. You may want to get on him and get him to correct that.
Is he on his honeymoon? Is somebody doing this while he's on his honeymoon?
I don't think he's on his honeymoon.
Got married this weekend, didn't he?
He got married earlier. They had a celebration of his wedding this weekend. I think they had a real service, the actual wedding, then his honeymoon, and now this was a celebration for friends.
Yeah. EG was there.
EG was down there, yeah. But here's Josh's SEC preseason quarterback rankings. He goes DJ Lagway 1, Arch 2, Lenore Sellers 3, Nussmeier 4. The joke there is I've got Nussmeier 1 and got killed for that. John Mateer 5, Austin Simmons 6, Jackson Arnold 7. I had Arnold 5th, got killed for that. Taylon Green 8th. He plays at Arkansas if you don't know who Taylon Green is. Marcel Reed is 9, Texas A&M. And the guy everybody will mess up on this year, Diego Pavia at 10.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a back-to-earth year. I'm with you on that.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
This will be this will be the biggest bust in college football this year, Diego Pavia. We will not say his name in November. So he's at 10.
Okay.
The Alabama logo.
He's not in the top
I
10.
can't see it. Can you go full screen again? I can't see the small one there. I'm looking for that Alabama logo.
Your guy Ty Simpson's not there, Jim. He's got something to prove.
Where's that Georgia? That Georgia logo, man. That Georgia team's usually pretty good. That Georgia logo?
Not there. Got something to prove.
Not there?
Yeah. I have failed.
Well, I mean, wait a second, Brad.
What?
I mean, Josh Heupel. Where's that Tennessee logo?
Oh, they got a cast-off quarterback from UCLA in a trade.
So we're going to go 10 deep. We're going to go 10 deep on Josh Pate's SEC preseason quarterback rankings, and I don't get the Alabama logo, I don't get the Georgia logo, and I don't get the Tennessee logo?
You don't. That is kind of odd, isn't it? Just not. I mean, Tennessee has been up and down, but Alabama and Georgia, the last decade of football they've had, to see a top 10 and not see that logo in the top 10 preseason is pretty crazy. Could also be wrong. Could be right. I think he's wrong.
Listen, one of my favorite songs, If Heaven Ain't a Lot Like the SEC, I Don't Want to Go.
That's right.
And there's got to be an Alabama, Georgia, or Tennessee logo on any list you do.
Any top 10 in the SEC?
That just proves Josh Pate's not an SEC guy. He's a college football guy. He gets painted as an SEC guy all the time. But if you do an SEC list of anything and it has nowhere on it an Alabama logo or Georgia logo or a Tennessee logo, you're not an SEC homer. At that point, you are a college football analyst, and you're not an SEC homer. Josh Pate not carrying the water for the SEC simply because there's no Alabama logo, there's no Georgia logo, there's no Tennessee logo, the three main ingredients of the Southeastern Conference.
What if I gave you an accepted statistic, a major statistic, where you would say, all right, I'll rank the quarterbacks based on this in a conference? What statistic would you use?
I usually start with this thing called the scoreboard and wins.
Okay.
Wins are valuable to me.
They are.
There are quarterbacks who are better than A.J. McCarron in the history of Alabama football.
That is right. Yeah.
But A.J. McCarron was the quarterback of teams that did what, Brown?
Well, they won championships.
Won games, man. They won a lot of games.
But, you know, with all due respect to UAB coach Trent Dilfer, he gets killed a lot because he was on a team with a really good defense that won a Super Bowl.
Yep. Did Trent put him in harm's way? Did he?
I know. But that doesn't make you a great quarterback. That just makes you – I'm just asking you if you rank quarterbacks. So wins are important, But I'm asking you for a statistic, not a win, not a win loss.
There's not a. It's a feel thing for me. Really,
right,
I'm not trying to be.
I know.
But I'll give you an example.
All right.
AJ McCarron, 2012 SEC championship. Alabama needs a big play action toss. I believe to Amari Cooper, touchdown far side of the field away from where I'm standing, allows Alabama to beat Georgia and go on and beat Notre Dame. That's a huge play in that contest.
Well, let's just do it this way. Yards per game, passing yards per game. Where do you think Diego Pavia ranked in the conference last year?
I would imagine he was down around 10 or 11.
That'd be 12.
Yeah, not good. That's not his game. But he won some games last year. He beat Alabama, beat Auburn. I give Diego his flowers for last year. I'm just telling you, one time around the circuit, now they're going to see him for a second time. They're going to be prepared for Diego Pavia.
In both touchdowns and interceptions, he was 6th. In yards, Diego Pavia was 11th. In completion percentage, Diego Pavia was 14th. So, I mean, last year, statistically, Diego Pavia was probably in the bottom third of the conference already last year and did have some big moments. He made some plays against Alabama and Auburn that led to wins in both those games. But statistically, when you look at the season as a whole, the guy was probably a bottom third quarterback already last year.
But to this list again, Forrester, if you'll throw it up there for me one time, aside from the no Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee logo, is the fact that you can take a talented list of quarterbacks in the SEC and basically, and you've seen this all off season, including our list that Taylor sends out at Next Round Live, that you can move and jumble these around any way you want to. It's like the Build-A-Bear shop over at the Galleria and the malls across America where you take your kid in there and they could build their little stuffed animal however they wanted to build it.
Boy, they made money hand over fist.
And boy, Josh Pate preseason rankings like my rankings or anyone else.
They're a Build-A-Bear.
You can build a quarterback in the SEC any way you want to. You can stack that list any way you want to. You could tell me Austin Simmons at the end of the year, Ole Miss is the best quarterback in the SEC.
That's not crazy.
And I can make a case for it.
Yeah.
You can sit there and say it's Mateer. You can say it's Nussmeier, like I did. You could say it's Sellers. You could say it's Lagway. You can say it's Manning. Crap, by the time we get there, that Alabama logo may be there. That Georgia logo may be there. That Tennessee logo may be there. I don't know, but it's just one of those years where you have a lot of good quarterbacks that you can stack a variety of different ways.
Yeah, that is true. There is a lot of the same, and there's some unknown, like Arch Manning is an unknown. John Mateer is an unknown, at Oklahoma at least. Austin Simmons is an unknown at Ole Miss. Jackson Arnold is an unknown at Auburn. I mean, you've seen Arnold and Mateer in other places. You saw Simmons in brief moments. But those guys, Arch Manning in brief moments, those guys are unknowns. And you think they're going to be good, but how do I know? I mean, how do I know John Mateer was good at Washington State and that's automatically going to translate with his offensive coordinator to Oklahoma? I don't know that.
And if Pate was sitting right here, right now, he would tell you Cade Klubnik looks like a sure thing at Clemson, but we've seen bad Cade Klubnik. Ohio State's replacing a quarterback. Freshman at Michigan. All over the country, there's a lot of really good quarterbacks, but there's nobody that jumps out to you and says, all right, that quarterback is good enough. I know 100% that quarterback's good enough to lead their team to the national championship. I don't believe Drew Aller's that guy.
You don't think anywhere in the country?
I don't think.
I would agree with you.
Is there one guy in the country you say, man, that quarterback, that team's good enough with that quarterback to win it all? Somebody will win it all, and they'll have great quarterback play along the way. But nobody pops.
I start with the two teams that just played for it. Both of them are replacing quarterback, right?
It feels like the whole playoffs is replacing quarterback except for Klubnik.
Well, and there was Texas in the playoffs replacing quarterback. Klubnik and Aller are back from the playoffs. But you're right. A lot of the playoffs are replacing quarterback.
I've seen Aller and Klubnik be really, really bad. So I can't sit there and tell you that they're going to be, what Mac Jones or what Stetson Bennett or what those championship quarterbacks ended up being. So interesting list there from Josh Pate. You can go watch him break it down on his shows all week long over on his platform, The Great Josh Pate Show. Congratulations on his nuptials this past weekend. To the basketball news in just a second, and a little bit more football news after Brownie tells you about our friends at Twin Peaks.
Jim Dunaway, Twin Peaks. Let me reach down here and grab what I'm supposed to tell you from my man Lance Taylor here. Lance has all his stuff printed. So you got to give me a second here. Twin Peaks, Jim.
Yeah, well, the video's rolling, so we'll just look at that.
Is that good video?
Yeah.
Twin Peaks got great locations. Great place to go watch all the games is Twin Peaks. And you can do it at any of your local Twin Peaks, specifically in Birmingham, out near the Galleria, just off I-459. Don't forget the NBA Finals Game 1. It all comes down to this. The number one sports bar in America, Twin Peaks. Catch every second of the final series of professional basketball. Who's going to take home the championship trophy? You will find out at Twin Peaks. Game 1 NBA Finals tomorrow night at Twin Peaks. So go enjoy Twin Peaks and enjoy all the great scenery, the great games, and that 29-degree beer only at Twin Peaks.
Tom Thibodeau gets fired by the New York Knicks. I only bring this up.
Conference Finals.
Because, first off, yeah, he did win 50-plus games back-to-back years.
25, first time in 25 years of the conference finals, weren't they?
Since 1995, it's the last time somebody went back-to-back years as the Knicks head coach since 50-plus wins. There is a belief that Jay Wright could be coming out of retirement to coach the Knicks. And
well, they got all those Villanova guys already.
That's right, the Nova Knicks. 3 guys on that team, used to be 4, that used to play for Jay Wright. There is also talk that maybe this is the job that gets Dan Hurley to leave college and take over the Knicks. They don't believe they would have fired Thibodeau and pay him $30 million, by the way.
To go away?
Yeah. He's got $30 million guaranteed left on his contract, so they're paying him $30 million. Most people don't believe that they made this move without knowing who their next coach is. Some people believe Van Gundy is going to come back and coach.
Stan, not Jeff?
The one that coached the Clippers last year.
Yeah.
Was retired for 17, coached the Clippers last year. So we'll see.
Boy, I tell you what, if it's Dan Hurley, that's really, really – I mean, Jay Wright would interest me a little bit too, just because, he was such kind of an early retirement in college. But Dan Hurley this late in the game leaving UConn, I mean, that's a guy that is self-proclaimed the best coach of college basketball, and he does have some hardware to back that claim up. To see him this late in the game go to the NBA would be fascinating.
Eddie Radonovich doesn't work at CNN, but anytime I hear his name, I always thought Headline News, the sports guy.
Oh, you're thinking Jerome Jurinovich.
Jerome Jurinovich.
Yeah.
Eddie Radonovich.
Yeah.
CNN.
Eddie's been on the show. He covers Oklahoma. Eddie's been on the show. But you're right, though. Jerome Jurinovich, Headline Sports.
Sooner Scoop is where Eddie works. He's getting ready for the NBA Finals, which starts tomorrow night. He had this video yesterday. We could not be more ready for the NBA Finals. Naval support arrives along the Oklahoma River tomorrow. Good luck, Indiana. Go Thunder.
Is that tanks rolling in?
That's tanks. The great military equipment rolling through Oklahoma City. Not for the NBA Finals. They don't need it for security in OKC. That just happens to be the train passing Eddie's location at the time.
That's fantastic.
Eddie Radonovich. Breaking news. Headline News. What was it? Headline Sports? What was
it? CNN Headline Sports. Jerome Jurinovich, CNN Headline Sports. I think it aired on Headline News, but they still called it CNN Headline Sports. Maybe.
Yeah, I'd always loved those little. What was it? A minute, 90-second updates.
But it was your only way sometimes to get the scores and the highlights and all that. Yeah. I mean, ESPN back then was showing boat racing sometimes, the America's Cup.
NBA Finals goes tomorrow night, and it'll be fun to see how that all plays out on the NBA Finals. All right, one more college football thing to get to. You still have Lance's copy up in front of you.
Oh, what do we need?
Would you tell us about our friends at Company Distilling? Company Distilling.
I can, Jim. They were in studio, and I tell you the one I really, really wanted to try, and I'm so glad I did, was that apple barrel from Company Distilling. It was fantastic. Company Distilling. They are available at ABC stores across the state of Alabama. If you've been waiting to try whiskey that's as good as the company you keep, well, Company Distilling is the place to go. You can find more at CompanyDistilling.com/Alabama. CompanyDistilling.com/Alabama. Must be 21 years or older. Please enjoy responsibly. ABC stores across Alabama, but also Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, South Carolina. Picking up a bottle for the weekend or just exploring something new, Company Distilling, worth the pour. If you can't find it on the shelf, just ask your local store to order it. Spirits this good must be shared. Company Distilling must be 21 or older to purchase. Please enjoy responsibly. You see the video Scott is showing. If you're watching us on one of our video platforms, that is, those are the guys from Company Distilling on Bama and Bourbon is what Scott was showing. You get that if you want to see more about Company Distilling. on the Cover Crimson channel on YouTube. Cover Crimson on YouTube for Bama and Bourbon.
Okay, so the SEC currently with 8 scheduled games every year. They had the first run of the newly expanded schedule ran 2 years, just flipped the home and away games this year. New schedule has to come out soon for next year. Could go to 9 games, could stay at 8. If you stay at 8, Greg Sankey says they do have a place in plan to protect secondary rivalry games, certain secondary rivalry games. If you're at 9, you're okay. You can keep these rivalry games, 2 games in place, and rotate the other 7 teams. Works out fine that way.
Okay.
So 9 works easy. Rotate 7, keep 2. But if we stay at 8, you got to protect some of these games, and that's going to quirk up the schedule a little bit. Won't be a fair or balanced rotation. How important is it for you to save secondary rivalry games like Alabama, Tennessee, Auburn, Georgia?
Well, I think some of them, like, for instance, Alabama, Tennessee that's just a historic game. It's just part of the fabric of the Southeastern Conference, and it's important to the fan bases. It's a good TV game. I just think at some point you got to say, is some of our history worth saving? I mean,
if you're saying Alabama, Tennessee, you got to throw Auburn, Georgia, same conversation.
And
right?
I was getting to that one. Yeah. It's the same thing. I mean, Deep South's oldest rivalry. It's even got a name. Third Saturday in October, Deep South's oldest rivalry. And at some point, you've got to say, what's more important, expansion or history? Is there a way to do both? And I think the most important thing for these conferences right now is probably expansion, honestly, over history. But is there a way you can do both? The question is, where do you draw the line? Like, I would say we've already given some up. Mississippi State's biggest rival is
Ole Miss.
Who would you say their secondary rival is?
Probably in their head, Alabama.
Which we lost in the most recent expansion with Oklahoma and Texas, right?
Yeah. The biggest one, Brown, the reason I bring this up, I used Alabama, Tennessee, Auburn, Georgia as a carrot. The biggest one that's a secondary rivalry is Oklahoma, Texas.
Oh, you call that the secondary?
So you think Texas A&M is?
Well, they just started playing that one back.
Yeah.
They just now started it back. I mean, I'm going to go with, like, growing up as a kid, I thought Texas A&M was the bigger of the 2 games, just because as a kid, like, if you played in the same state, that made it a huge rivalry.
Right.
But the older I got, the more I realized, no, for Texas, I think Oklahoma's the more important game to them. And I know it's the most important for Oklahoma. Bedlam was not even a rivalry. Like, that was Oklahoma's biggest rival.
Well, it used to be Oklahoma, Nebraska.
Well, yeah, way back in the day. Yeah,
Oklahoma, Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, then Oklahoma State.
But, I mean, that becomes the discussion. Like, which one would you say? Like, if you're Greg Sankey and you can only save one, which one for Texas are you going to save?
It's got to be Red River.
I think I would, too. I think Red River has got the history, the pageantry. It gives you a good rivalry in the middle of the season, not just on rivalry weekend. I think I would save Red River over Texas A&M. And we just now got that one back.
Now, he says there's a plan to save some of these secondary rivalries if you stay at 8. That's why I keep hoping we go to 9 so that we can have a nice, easy rotation of the schedule that everyone understands and everyone keeps 2 rivals. And it works out on a continuous rotation with 16 teams. You got 2 rivals, right, and then you rotate the others around and around.
We've already lost LSU Auburn, which to me that was just a really good rivalry, a fun rivalry. We've already lost that.
You're going to lose Alabama LSU.
That was my next question. Yeah. I mean, if you're talking about losing Alabama Tennessee, you're going to lose Alabama LSU too, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you keep Alabama Tennessee, and Auburn and Alabama, obviously, then Alabama LSU becomes a rotator.
Yeah. And, I mean, to me, there are some that would say Alabama Tennessee, I would lose that before I'd lose Alabama LSU. I think that's newcomers. I mean, that's people that don't know the history, but it's also it's not
really newcomers
not an illegitimate
anymore,
opinion.
I mean, 2008.
Well, I still consider them newcomers.
I know, but think about that.
I know. I mean, for 15 years, that was a large part of that 15 years, the most important game in the SEC every year was Alabama LSU. Yeah. Not that entire 15, but for a large part of it, Alabama LSU was a massive game, and it was the most important game in the SEC annually. To think about giving that up now is crazy to think about.
Yeah,
but you can't keep all these.
No, but I'm telling you, we are closer to the year 2040 than we are to when I just told you 2008.
Yes, I know. But, I mean, what secondary, where do you draw the line? I mean, you would fight to save Texas A&M, right?
Yeah.
Would you? Alabama, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Auburn, Georgia. You'd fight to save all those.
I think it's easy to find two games you want to save for every
team.
For every SEC team.
I don't know that it is.
Well, I mean, you have to have some down the line that
They're
just you're going to have to pair them up.
Yeah, like a good example is Tennessee. Obviously, Tennessee, Alabama would be one. Now, who's your other one for Tennessee? Is it Georgia?
We're going to have to wait and see how it all shuffles out.
Or is it Florida?
We'll have to wait and see.
Because if it's Georgia,
it's not Georgia. Georgia's got Georgia, Florida, Georgia, Auburn.
That's right. Yeah. So you throw that up. All right, so then it's got to be Florida.
It's probably going to be Tennessee, Kentucky.
Ugh. We're going to fight to save that. See, that's where
we're not fighting to save that. I'm just saying when you get down to the bottom, you got to pair them up.
Yeah, I mean,
you fight for the save the ones at the top.
Scott's showing you, like, I'm still old enough that I can remember when Tennessee, Florida was what Alabama, LSU was. It was the biggest game in the conference every year. Yeah. And it would be weird to give that one up if you're forced to give it up.
That'd be good to save, but,
I agree. Well, so now
most people are going to say Florida LSU is the one to save there.
But if you're saving Florida, Georgia, and Florida, Tennessee, Florida LSU becomes the third there.
Yeah,
that would be the one you potentially have to sacrifice.
Yep.
You see how difficult this gets, right? When you start doing this,
you fight for the ones at the top, and then you pair the ones at the bottom.
I kind of agree, and some people are going to get mad about that, but it's just the way you got to do it, I think.
Emily Grace joins us on the other side for our Four Downs today. That's got a couple of celebrity birthdays and a couple of Texas A&M questions in there. Joe Klatt, not a fan of just settling on the 5'11 model. We'll still get to that coming up in our college football conversation today. Before we go to break here, Brown, tell us about our new optic sponsor here, these cool sunglasses, and then I want to talk about pairing up weird concert artist, because we've got a weird concert pairing coming up. But do you have some sunglasses over here to throw on?
I do.
Yeah.
I put these on.
Yeah, throw those down.
These are our
for us.
breaking news glasses from Breakline Optical. When we have breaking news, we always struggle with the hand signals during the show, right? Like if I point at my screen, sometimes you're like,
not going to wear these glasses during breaking news, are you?
This is our breaking news, our Breakline Optical breaking news. If somebody dies, I probably won't. That seems.
So if it's a big breaking news story, you're going to wear it as well?
Yeah.
Like
it's our Breakline Optical breaking news.
Okay.
Jim, we broke one of the biggest stories in Alabama sports history wearing Halloween costumes. You were Ken.
No, I'm just laying out what you're going to do. So
this is how I'm going to signal you we've got breaking news. Breakline Optics. That's Father's Day. Great idea.
You're also showing me you can't wear them and read the copy?
I can, yeah.
Okay.
Take them off. Breakline Optics. Skip the cliche. Give Dad something he'll use every single day. A pair of glasses from Breakline Optics. Forget the grill tools. Dad's already mastered that backyard barbecue. Give Dad something that'll have him looking fresh while he's out fishing his buddies, while he's out playing golf with his buddies. You can't catch what you can't see. Every time he puts on his brake lines, he'll remember the day you officially became his favorite kid.
Those look good on you, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much, Jim. I appreciate that. I may wear them on the golf course. Sunglasses are more than just a practical gift. They're a gesture that says, I've got your back and your eyes. So every time Dad slips them on, he will remember you. Great idea for Father's Day. A gift of glasses from Breakline Optical. BreaklineOptics.com. BreaklineOptics.com. They are local guys. This is a local company, so you can right now get 20% off Father's Day with code TNR20. 20% off Father's Day, code TNR20 when you go to BreaklineOptics.com. BreaklineOptics.com.
Give me a profile. Here's what I like about these, okay?
Okay.
Like if I'm side-eyeing somebody walking down the beach.
Yeah.
Trying to catch, let's just say I happened to be at 30A and Livy Dunn's walking down the beach.
In that houndstooth bikini.
And I don't want anybody to see behind my glasses that I'm side-eyeing walking down the beach. You got a little screen over there. It keeps.
I think I don't have this. See that? Look, that comes off too.
Oh, it comes off if I want to. Oh, well, that's going to look very obvious if I.
So now you can unside-eye.
Yeah. Are those supposed to be on, or you just forgot to take them out?
No. I think this is for when you're fishing or playing golf or something.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Here's the
BreaklineOptics.com.
Here's the weird pairing. The weird pairing of a concert coming up. We're going to play the Braves and the Reds. The Braves and the Reds there in Bristol at the racetrack.
That's right.
It's coming up August the 2nd. Before you show me the pairing, Forrester, if I said, okay, I've got Tim McGraw is one of the headliners.
Okay.
That's doing a pre-game concert for all the fans. Tim McGraw. Who do you pair with Tim McGraw, country music artist Tim McGraw, to lead into the Braves-Reds game right there in Bristol at a NASCAR track? Who do you put out there with Tim McGraw?
Generally, I mean, you would match country and country, right?
Yeah.
So
Or you can go some Southern rock.
Maybe Southern rock. I mean, is Tim McGraw my headliner? I need an opener. That's a question too.
I think these are going to be listed as co-headliners.
Co-headliners.
Yeah.
Okay. I would probably, maybe go with like maybe a Need to Breathe or somebody like that.
No, that's not bad.
Yeah, Need to Breathe and Tim McGraw. I mean,
Leonard Skinner would just resonate right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of, I think, I don't know.
What's your favorite Tim McGraw song?
I'm not a big Tim McGraw fan.
Oh, Please Don't Take the Girl?
I mean, it's a good song.
White T-shirt?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I hate his music. I'm just saying I don't celebrate his catalog.
Yeah, I've run out, but
I mean,
he's got a lot of songs. But those are off the top of my head.
I didn't like the one that goes skydiving. He's saying about his dad dying.
You don't like that one?
Yeah, I didn't like that song. Yeah.
Live Like You're Dying?
Live Like You're Dying. Yeah, didn't like that one. I mean, it's
great advice.
Well, I mean,
you obviously, when you got Tim McGraw, you pair him with this guy, Pitbull.
Okay.
He is Mr. Worldwide.
He is Mr. Worldwide. You're right, and that's two different styles of music. There's no doubt.
Tim McGraw and Pitbull joined together for an unforgettable, I bet, pre-game concert.
Now Pitbull does collabs with everybody. This one would be interesting. Yeah.
Do you do a Pitbull impersonation, Tyler?
I don't think I can do Pitbull.
Forrester, can you do Pitbull?
Negative.
Yeah. Can you somehow mix in Please Don't Take the Girl and let Pitbull sing it?
Well, he did. He did one with Bon Jovi recently. So, I mean, that's getting a little bit closer. Like he used to do them with Kesha and people like that. But now, he did a collab with Bon Jovi. So,
yeah. I never put Pitbull and Tim McGraw on the same ticket.
Nor did I.
For a concert there.
Nor did
I. Braves and Reds. It'll be an interesting show at Bristol. That's August 2nd. You can get your tickets there now. When we come back, we'll do our 4 downs and talk a little baseball. Who's the best pitcher on the worst team in baseball? Not an Atlanta Braves. I'll tell you who it is coming up next on the show, being brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And our friends at Hemp Hill Services. If it ain't running right, draining right, or flowing right, our friends at Hemp Hill will take care of you. Get that cooling system and air conditioning checked out right now. If you're a business owner and have a big building, Hemp Hill can help you there as well. 205-229-2090. 205-229-2090. Hemp Hill Services since the 1950s. The name Birmingham is trusted. Go check them out, our friends at Hemp Hill.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
By now, you guys know how I feel about my fashion. However, did you know that I care about your fashion choices? Cargo shorts are out, flip-flops are only appropriate on the boat, and please throw away that stained t-shirt from college. You may be thinking, EG, that's all I own. What do I do? Here's what you do. Go to nextround.store and fill your cart with a wardrobe that is approved by me. Stock up on logo t-shirts, hoodies for football season, and hats for every day of the week. Trust me on this one and head over to nextround.store to get stocked up for this season.
Hey, you. Days warming up. Looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Opening up a new ice-cold Coca-Cola Zero here.
Yum.
Enjoy that for the final 90 minutes of the show here. This is Emily Grace McWhorter.
Hi, everyone.
If you'd like to meet Emily Grace here.
Hi,
nice
EG.
to
How are
meet
you?
guys, if you haven't met me before. I'm Emily Grace, EG. Good to be here.
You're using your DJ voice.
I know.
Emily Grace,
Smooth,
EG, riding you
EG.
home.
Yeah.
She'll be driving you home here the rest of the afternoon, nonstop
Lord.
music. Hey, our show today being brought to you by our friends Bojangles. They give you the Bo Tender moment of the day, and I got a little tender moment for us here.
Oh, a tender moment.
Excited.
Bojangles from sweet to heat. They've got 7 sauces that will definitely add a little extra flavor to every bite. Nothing pairs better with the sauces than hand-breaded tenders. So if you're looking for sweet, try honey mustard or add some tang with barbecue. If you're looking for some heat, try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. If you're craving smooth and creamy, house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, or classic Bo sauce, ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles and order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's Bo time.
The tender moment is with Paul Skeens. You know EG from the Pennant Grace.
Yes.
Tuesday and Thursdays at 12:15 we talk baseball. Paul Skeens last night, 8 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, 1 earned run, 3 hits allowed, and they lose.
I was about to say, and the L, I'm sure.
And they lose because he's got an ERA of 2.05. He's 4-6 on the year with a 2.05 ERA. The Pirates are 5-8 when he pitches. How do you go out there and do your job so well when you have a better chance you're going to lose and get no run support?
Well, it shows the mental fortitude of him because that right there is extremely painful. The Braves are also slightly dealing with some of that in terms of the starting pitching that is performing extremely well and there's no run support. But I saw a TikTok that Livy also posted about Paul recently about how he does not like to be on camera, but he does it for her. I thought that was also a tender moment.
Oh, wow.
I know.
It's very tender.
I know.
I think I saw he was like the first or second pitcher to lose a 1-0 decision twice in 2 weeks or something. There was some crazy stat. Like this has happened to him a lot this year.
Yeah.
Historically.
Give up 1 run.
Yeah.
1 run.
1 run.
And you don't win.
and you do that twice in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
It's brutal.
and lose them both.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
But he's being a good teammate. He's not saying anything bad about the organization. And the Pirates are saying we're not trading him away, despite all the people saying, "Hey, we'll give you this,
Get
this,
value
this,
for
this."
him.
Right now, he's going to be a Pittsburgh Pirate for a while. I don't even know when do you see Pittsburgh on any of the televisions?
Never.
Never.
How did that franchise get so bad?
Yeah, it used to be when I was a kid. They were fantastic. Braves win last night. Lose last night.
Lost.
Lost last
Yeah.
night.
I mean,
The
I seem to
Diamondbacks.
only ask you. When they lose.
It's like when he's asked Lance about the lock. It's always after Lance has had a
Right,
bad night.
it's never
Yeah.
a good.
It's never, Lance never goes, we were 8-0 last night, Jim.
Braves killed the D-backs. No. It was a loss in Truist.
Yeah, but that's our Bo Tender moment of the day. We're going to do our Spotlight now and then get to our 4 downs. Spotlight brought to you by Shunnarah. Hit it, man.
The College Football Spotlight.
The Shunnarah Spotlight with our guy Alexander Shunnarah, personal injury attorneys. That's part of it. You know that he's handled that for years. He now not only handles that, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. When you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com, Shunnarah.com.
All right, so Oregon used to be, I was telling EG in the break, Oregon used to be one of the worst teams. You'd get the bottom 10 in college football. It was always Oregon, Kansas State, and some other teams. But Oregon was always there. But now it's been a long time. They've been a mainstay for well over a decade now. I mean, they played for the national championship in 2010. They've been, we're talking about just not too far long ago, 2008. It's it's a long way away now, Brownie. So,
Aren't we closer to 2040 than 2010?
That's
Yeah,
what
we
Jim
are, yeah.
just told me
We are.
earlier. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I
A
mean,
little scary.
there was a time you would say 50 years ago, and you'd always think that was World War II. Now, when you go 50 years ago, what is it?
70s.
Yeah. It's actually closer to 1985.
Really?
Yeah, 85
Oh.
is 40.
Ooh.
Yeah, so 50 is 75.
Yikes.
Yeah, so that's 50 years ago. That's half a century ago. So
A lot of life lived.
Yeah, but I'm asking you now, mainstay
Yeah.
Oregon is I won't call them a premier college football, but they're a good college football program. They have come from the depths of college football. Our spotlight today is what new brand or a team that is now in the conversation that you think is going to have staying power that could become the next Oregon?
It's an interesting question because there are so many teams you can look at with this. When we were talking about it in break, 2 teams came to mind. One was South Carolina. And I think that for the Alabama fans out there, that's a game that I'm looking at this coming season because last season, South Carolina came to town and it was a much closer game, came down to literally the final 2 minutes. And Alabama has a road trip up to, where are they in South Carolina? Columbia, South Carolina. I've never been actually, but
You've never been? That's a good
I've never
place.
been, but
Yeah.
I've heard that I would enjoy it.
It's a good game day atmosphere. I don't know about Columbia as
Yeah.
a city, but the game day atmosphere is fine.
They're about to redo William Bryce Stadium. By
They
the way.
are?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I think it's going to be a little bit of a reduction in size, but
Kind
I
of
think
spruce things up a little bit.
a few more suites,
Yeah, I think-
modernize it a little bit, and I think they're getting away with. I think they're going to go the Bryant Denny model of four screens.
I love that.
I do too.
Because
instead of the one big one
yes,
or two big
because
ones.
and selfishly because I'm at work when I'm attending these games, you can always see everything. And I think as a fan too, that's really nice. Auburn has the giant massive one. They're obviously putting the other one in the end zone, but the 4 screens I really do like.
I think they're also doing that entertainment district similar to what the Braves have over at Truist. Yeah, the Battery.
That's nice.
Yeah, I think they're doing that too.
Have we seen that with college football yet?
Yeah,
A
but I think
Battery type?
Tennessee's doing the same thing, so I think it'll start to be a trend.
Yeah.
Tennessee's ahead of schedule. They announced theirs last year, maybe.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, and South Carolina already has the Cockaboose.
Yeah.
Big party areas outside. They got the State Fair grounds that operates across the street, so you can easily put some stuff there in Columbia.
But I would say South Carolina, I think they're going to, over the next couple of years, I think they're going to kind of level out the playing field, and we've already started to see that.
What about you, Brent?
I'm going to be consistent and say Texas Tech. Like, I think this is an era in college sports where you could do what we're talking about easier than ever. I say easier if you've got a big money booster that's like, hey, I just want to be a winner, man.
You oil guys in Texas.
Yeah, a guy that sells his petroleum business for $4.5 billion. And I think Texas Tech could be that team. And look, the Big 12's wide open. They could become the dominant team of the Big 12, get in the playoffs a lot. I think they could become the next Oregon. Keep in mind now, we're talking about Oregon as a program that has never won a national championship. So we're not saying you got to win a national championship. We're just saying you got to
be in the conversation.
Be in the conversation. Be in the college football playoffs.
Just a top-tier team.
Yeah, I think Texas Tech could do that. I think the billionaire, our guy from Double Eagle, the billionaire, could put them in that stratosphere very easily.
Would you give me the opportunity to put in this conversation a team that actually won the national championship 41 years ago?
BYU?
I think BYU.
Yeah.
Could become that football program. Basically the same thing you're saying. I think BYU has a lot of money at their disposal.
Well, I'll tell you what would be interesting with BYU is if they ever viewed, because I think the Mormon Church, the Church of Latter-day Saints, has a massive amount of money.
They also travel extremely well.
They do.
They travel like in droves.
And if they ever started saying, like, we're going to use and I know this sounds insane, but think about it for a second. We're going to use our football program as a platform to advertise our church.
Gosh.
And they're like, we'll just pump this in NIL. We'll become really good. And everybody will be like, man, Brigham Young's got it going on. I'd like to go to BYU. And it becomes a platform for their religion.
That would make so much sense for them.
But what if they ever did that? What if they were like, we've got all this money sitting aside. What's a better way to advertise our religion and maybe convert some people over to our religion than be dominant in football?
Well, in basketball, they've got the highest paid player this year. And
maybe they're already doing it. They may already be doing it. Yeah.
Are you like on a board somewhere, Brown? They're not telling us about.
I'm a Southern Baptist. I'm not a Mormon.
I'm the one that brought this up. Yeah. I'm the one that's just projecting BYU to be that team because of the spending that they're doing. That's our spotlight today, brought to you by Alexander Shunnarah. Before we do our four downs, Brown, tell us about Lags. We had somebody who was by breakfast earlier today.
Oh yeah, I saw the photo.
I think it was Russell who went by there earlier today.
From the poker club?
Different Russell.
Oh.
Different Russell.
Yep. Went by into Lags this morning, had breakfast. See the, it looks like some tots and eggs and bacon and sausage, all that on one plate.
Yep. Lags Eatery. It's over on 3rd Court South, 4350 3rd Court South. Now, if you are familiar with Birmingham at all, you know maybe where Mom's Basement is. That's where you find Lags Eatery. And they are open late. When they're turning the crowd out there at Mom's Basement, guess where they go? They go over to Lags Eatery right there. I've taken my family. It is a terrific burger. The great tots, the great fries, all of that right there at Lags. It is a historic Birmingham institution, and it is a place you need to go to lunch today and enjoy that great burger. We get so much feedback on the bologna sandwich and the tots. You can go enjoy that at Lags Eatery. Lags Eatery right there next to Mom's Basement over in the Avondale area of Birmingham. Go see Lags Eatery, a Birmingham institution, back in business now with Lags Eatery.
First down.
All right, Texas A&M's our preview team today. I won't do more wins, Texas or Houston or anything like that, but I'm going to try this one for you. Minimum to be the greatest Texas A&M Aggie team in the last 50 years. We'll keep 50, so back to 1975. What is the minimum, Brownie and EG, that Texas A&M has to accomplish for you to consider them the best Aggie team in the last half a century?
I don't know what team that is considered. They had the team that won the conference championship when they upset Kansas State back in the Big 12 days, so winning a conference championship, number one. You have the team that probably finished the year maybe the second or third best team in college football, Johnny Manziel's Heisman Trophy year.
2012?
Yeah, when they upset Alabama 2012 and Bryant Denny, and they destroyed Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl. That, to me, in my lifetime, is the best two I can remember. So that either requires winning a conference championship or winning a New Year's Six bowl game and being like an 11-win team.
Yeah, I'd say winning a conference championship. I think, too, from like the actual team perspective, for them to be one of those teams, I think Marcel Reed really has to become more consistent. They have an offensive line that can help him out there. They lost a lot of continuity, especially at receiver. But I think he really has to rise to the occasion for any of this, of, you know, New Year's Six bowl win or conference champion to happen.
Yeah, so it doesn't take a national champion to be the best team in Texas A&M history.
But it would do it. I mean, obviously you are if you win the national championship.
An SEC championship would probably get that into the category of the greatest Aggies team of our lifetime. I do think they claim a national championship back in the day. Let's do second down.
Second down.
Okay, just take the state of Texas. of all the schools that play college football in the state of Texas.
Okay.
For this season only, where is Texas A&M in your preseason power ranking? Just in the state of
Are
Texas.
we including Rice in this too?
Oh, yeah.
Throw Rice in there.
There's really no reason to, but yes, they are in the state of Texas.
You can throw Sam Houston in there.
gosh.
I would say Texas is in front of them.
Okay,
in my mind.
Yeah. But just initially, everybody would go Texas A&M.
Yeah, I don't think I would.
Yeah.
I mean, SMU is in the playoffs
Top
last year.
3?
I think they're going to be good again. I mean, I don't know if SMU and Texas A&M played on a field who would win the game.
Over Texas Tech, you have SMU?
No. I'm just naming them.
Okay.
Texas Tech I would have in there. Again, they're probably pretty close to A&M. I would say A&M's in a battle to be anywhere from 2nd to 4th. I can't think of another Texas team I would automatically throw in front
As
of
a
them.
Christian, could you think of anybody?
TCU.
I don't know that TCU is going to be as good as people are saying.
I don't believe that A&M is going to be as good as people are saying.
Well, I think A&M is going to be an 8-win team. I think that might be slightly better than TCU.
Yeah.
So I would consider SMU and Texas Tech in front of them.
I would go Texas. I'd go A&M.
Oh, so you'd have them second,
I would
by
have
the way.
them second still.
Yeah.
And then I'd go SMU, TCU. No, SMU, Tech, TCU.
Yeah. See, the Tech thing is hard to place because I want to see it happen, but
I do too.
Brown keeps talking about the money.
I know.
All right, let's do third down.
Third down.
Becoming a Red Raider, guns up.
Happy birthday, Angelina Jolie, who's 51
okay.
today. Most successful Brad Pitt wife or ex-wife?
Ooh. You got to remind me who all he's been married to.
Jennifer Aniston.
And Angelina Jolie.
Oh, that's the only two?
Yeah.
Aniston
I
is
go
more
Jennifer
successful.
Aniston. Yeah. I think she's more in it.
Why?
Because I think she's more likable. The whole Brangelina thing, that really took a toll
Right.
on Angelina's appearance,
Mm-hmm.
public appearance. She's beautiful. But I think Jennifer Aniston has remained more relevant than Jolie.
I think her career has had more staying
Yeah.
power than Angelina Jolie.
Agreed.
I can't remember the last thing Angelina Jolie did.
Me
Tyler,
neither.
what was it?
Well, she's a producer now, right?
Very good question.
Yeah.
I don't
Producer,
even know what
director.
the last big thing she produced is.
I know.
And they haven't been using her name to market anything.
Yeah. But she's a producer, director. I don't think she's in front of the camera much anymore. I think she's in the creative side of things. Let's do our fourth down, Tyler.
Fourth down.
Happy birthday, Bar Refaili, former Israeli model, swimsuit edition, 2009 cover girl. She is 40 years old today. If I asked you, E.G., you've modeled before. So
Where are we going with this?
I'm just saying, do you have a favorite swimsuit model cover girl of all time, E.G.? Is that something, I know guys notice that Sports Illustrated. You're a person that likes fashion.
Yeah.
You ever notice a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model issue?
I'm gonna off the top of my head, no, but I do think that. Let me think. Who was recently on it? Oh, Brooks Koepka's wife she did Swim
Jenna
Week.
Sims.
Jenna Sims.
Yeah.
She just did Swim Week. Alex Earl, Bethany Frankel. They just did Miami Swim Week and they killed it. So I'm gonna go with Alex Earl. Love her.
Alex Earl. Brownie?
I think I might go like old school when I was a kid, like an Elle McPherson or somebody like that.
Yeah. I was Brooklyn Decker, and she's married to Andy Roddick. Loved her. Kate Upton. Like Kate Upton, good dancer.
Oh, she's so pretty.
Yep, I just love the way her and Verlander are still together. She supports him at the ballpark. But I think Barr made the top five for me. Do you have any pictures for us, sir?
Oh,
there's her
this
cover.
guy happens to have some photos.
Yeah.
That's Barbara. That's the girl you're talking about, Barbara Felly.
40 years old
I don't know
today.
her.
Yeah.
See, that doesn't seem to be doing a good job of selling that swimsuit because the bottoms, they have a hard time keeping those off.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. I've never thought it. See,
ill-fitting.
that's a cute swimwear there, though. That's good. Good locations.
Cute.
That's cute. That's cute. Yeah. I mean, if you're crawling out of the water, you'd want that swimsuit, obviously. Bar Rafali. Hopefully I'm saying that right.
I hope.
Yeah. Those are 4 downs today. Happy birthday to all those folks as well. 80 days away from college football. One more hour to go here on the show that's being brought to you in part by our friends at New York Butcher Shop. I know E.G. and I have been by there, but not as much as Brownie and LT roll.
Oh, man. When you get ready to grill, New York Butcher Shop, Father's Day coming up. Get some meat to put on the grill. Dad, and just feed your family. Say it's Father's Day. This is what we do, man. I'm the dad. I'm going to feed the family. Cobb Heights and Greystone, from the great Duroc pork chops to the chicken to the amazing steaks. You can get all those and the great sides as well. Don't sleep on those sides at New York Butcher Shop. nybutcher.com, nybutcher.com, Cava Heights at Greystone, New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
EG, would you come back and do trash with us?
I'll consider it.
Our trash presenter?
I'll pray about it.
Just consider it. You're going to pray about it?
Just kidding.
Okay.
Of course.
All right. When we come back, we got some more college football stuff to discuss for you. If we had started...
And Brandon Marcello.
Oh, God, we got Brandon Marcello
We
next.
do, yes.
Well, let me get to break right now. Brandon Marcello on the other side. I can't wait to talk to Brandon next. That's more college football. Stay with us.
Yes, it is.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone, the New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Looking to expand your business? Let the Next Round help you. Contact us, sales@nextroundlive.com, and be part of the team. Advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platforms. The Next Round can take your business to the next level. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, while reaching the most desirable audience for your business. Get more information by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level using the Next Round.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, final hour of the show. We'll spend it with one of our good friends, Brandon Marcello. It's brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Brian Dovernight cooked to order. Great Southern comfort food. Fried chicken there that Sterling does is the best in the business. The hand-cut chicken fingers, all the wonderful sides, the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, and so much more. It's all right there at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster Browning.
Brandon Marcello, always kind with his time, talking some college football with us after he spent some time down in Destin with the Power Brokers of the Southeastern Conference. Welcome in, Brandon. How are you today?
What's up, guys? How are you?
Doing fantastic. Thanks a lot. I will ask you if there was a general, well, it's probably too general to ask for a general takeaway from Destin. There was a lot that went on down there. What was your summation of everything you saw down in Destin?
Yeah, it was one of the buzzier spring meetings down there. A lot of chatter, a lot of talk. You know, you went into it with the understanding and from our reporting that the SEC athletic directors are very much on board with the Big Ten athletic directors for the 4AQ format for the future of the college football playoff with 16 teams. But you just never know what the coaches are going to say. And when you have a commissioner like Greg Sankey, who's very much someone who's kind of got an open mind with some things when he goes into these meetings with the understanding of, I represent you guys. What you guys want to do is what we'll do. He's not the type to really kind of force things on them before they really discuss things in length. And so what happened last week was simply the coaches said, we don't want that 4AQ format. And in addition to that, Greg Sankey and the SEC were presenting, kind of an argument against the selection committee and their process and the need to maybe include some different analytics in there, which opened up the idea of, well, we'll get more teams in potentially and probably if we were to go with more at-large bursts, which would maybe be a 5+11 format or whatever that would be different from the 4AQs. And now all of a sudden you have the SEC kind of reevaluating their position and mostly the ADs reevaluating their position. And now the Big Ten's kind of sitting there going, what happened to our little partnership we had going here? It's going to be a fascinating next couple of months.
Yeah, because I mentioned this last week to Jim and Lance. I was like, for a long time, it seemed like Greg Sankey and whoever the Big Ten commissioner were, they were kind of at odds and they were butting heads. And it seemed like they had found a lot of common ground and were almost allies. But now it does feel like that is maybe starting to fracture a little bit. Did I even misread it to begin with, that they had become stronger allies maybe than they ever had been?
Oh, no, they were very strong allies. They're very close. They held those two kind of powwows between the two conferences previously. They had very much been on the same kind of line, wavelength of thinking with a lot of things, especially when it comes to just their position in the A4, the Autonomy 4, and the future of kind of being able to govern themselves after this House settlement, which we're still waiting on. But this kind of tests it a little bit, I believe. At least it should. I mean, the Big Ten's been very much trying to push the 4AQ idea. And let's be honest, like the 4AQ position actually mostly benefits the Big Ten, the ACC, and the Big 12 if you actually look at it historically what it would have done. Because you're giving the Big 12 and ACC 2 guaranteed spots every single year. The Big 10, 4, of course. And let's face it, the Big Ten is very top-heavy. It's much more top-heavy than the SEC. And while the Big Ten is usually averaged a little over 4, maybe up to 5 bids, potentially if you just went with a straight 16 every year, the SEC has been above them and well above them over the last 11 years. And, when you think of the Big Ten, you think of Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. And then it's kind of a rough shot of who's after that. And with Oregon and Washington, USC in there now, you could argue that one of them should be in that top 4 or 5, but the Big Ten's just not as deep year to year than the SEC. And that 4AQ model favors and helps the Big Ten more than it does the SEC if you actually look down at it and kind of examine it.
Listen, first of all, the relationship between the SEC and the Big Ten commissioner, it did feel a little bit coming out of Destin like it was the old CBS Big Brother show. Like, hey, we're friends, we're friends, we're friends. And all of a sudden he switches alliance. And now the Big 12 and the ACC are like, oh, 5-11. I'm in with that guy. But if it's 4-4, the 4 automatic qualifiers, there's still 3 at-large bids at the end. We're still talking about possibility of 7 SEC teams, right? So I don't. The people that are not up for the 5-11 thinks that somehow adds value to the regular season, some regular season games with the automatic qualifiers. Do you feel like the 5-11 somehow takes away from the regular season and the automatic 4 qualifiers add some value to maybe some Big 12 ACC games, maybe to some Big 10 games, maybe to certain SEC games? Does it add some value to the regular season real estate?
It does not add value to the regular season of college football. It adds value to the regular season for the Big 10 and SEC. And let's face it, there are other conferences out there. I know the Big 10 SEC don't want to admit that. And so it adds value to them. And the reason why, the real deep reason why the Big Ten and SEC won these 4 AQs, one, they got guarantee, but also they could create play-in games for a playoff, which is more inventory they can sell to their media partners. It sets up kind of an extravaganza on championship weekend in December that brings the attention back on them. You also open it up to where your top 6 teams in your conference standings have an opportunity to make the playoff at that point with one of the 4 automatic qualifiers, in addition to maybe getting some at-large spots even beyond that. So that helps the Big Ten and SEC. It doesn't help the rest of college football. It doesn't put more importance on the regular season for the rest of college football. It just puts more importance on the regular season for the Big Ten and SEC. Now, if we're talking about a 5-11 format with 11 at-larges or something similar like that, that makes the regular season more interesting to me for the rest of college football. I don't understand this idea that a 5-11 takes away the importance of the regular season when all we're talking about in the regular season and near the end of it are at-large spots and how the committee is going to react. And as long as the selection committee is around there, there's going to be intrigue and discussion about what's happening in the last few weeks of the regular season when you have more at-large spots. In fact, there will be even more chatter and maybe even more attention paid to it. So when you look at the 4AQ idea, that just really solidifies the importance of the Big Ten and SEC's regular season more than it does the rest of college football. The 5-11 makes it more interesting and more debate during the end of the regular season for all of college football.
I think you just probably answered my next question, but I was going to ask you, is this the last year of us having a human selection committee? Do you think when we do the new format in 2026, are we going to go back to more of a BCS model?
Great question. I've asked that since December to some administrators because there's been a lot of pushback at the selection committee, including the Big Ten. I mean, there's the Big Ten, that the folks there haven't really talked, and the commissioner there has certainly been someone who's been very kind of push offish with the media. He does not talk to the media. And the Big Ten, I've been told, is much more against the selection committee than the SEC. And we know the SEC, we're down in Destin. There's about a dozen of us left there on the last day, and they're handing out packets of, here's why the selection committee should do what we want. And the Big Ten, I'm told, is much more against the selection committee. They don't even want a selection committee. I don't think we're going to go to a straight computer formula BCS format. And I've talked to several folks who are still in college athletics and who have say, who were involved in the helping of the creation of the BCS, including Joe Castiglione, who kind of led the committee with the BCS at one point. And he's like, he says, it's funny how everything's just cyclical. This evil thing that no one wanted, and maybe now everybody's discussing, maybe that's what we want. I think when you get down to it, everybody still wants the human element in there. But maybe there is a way to go with more analytics. And then here's another thing. I don't know why no one brings this up, and I've been bringing it up for the last 3 years. And I'm sure you've probably seen this on social media, what I've been doing. The BCS rankings, the top 25, every year, those final rankings are almost exactly the same as the search committee's top 25 with very low variance. So this idea that the selection committee is just maybe we got to get rid of them. Maybe we should go back to the computers. In the end, there hasn't been much difference between the two. So what the hell are we really complaining about?
They're basically there to correct the computer if there's a computer flaw, is what it seems like. To your point, you keep watching it, and they've manipulated one or two spots, teams over the years that just sort of corrected a computer mishap, is what it looked like to me.
You're exactly right, because there always was in the BCS, maybe not in the top 2 or 4, but lower in those rankings, there's always like one team like 3 or 4 spots higher. Like that just doesn't make sense because, as you said, in some of those computer rankings, they're weighing one analytic much more over another. But again, we're very reactionary in college athletics. If you feel like you were slighted just in 1 year of something, you want to blow up the whole system and change it. That happens every single year, whether it's a college football playoff, NIL, and everything that's been going on, transfer portal. I mean, we've changed transfer portals windows, it seems like, every 2 years. And we always go, what? This is the one that's going to work. No, we're very reactionary in college athletics, and everybody is changing and tweaking things constantly. And I think this is just another overreaction by the folks about when we talk about the selection committee because of what happened last year with the SEC not getting a 3-loss team into the playoff.
Brandon Marcello is with us on the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys Hotline, the Shunnarah Hotline, the college football reporter for both CBS Sports and 24/7 Sports at B. Marcello on social media. Our preview team today is Texas A&M. We've entered the top 25. You know how we do this every year. We let our audience vote. I think there were 44 voters. Is that right, Jim?
46 audience voters.
46 audience voters. They put in their top 25. Jim curates it into the top 40. Texas A&M at 25. And Brandon, they're an 8-win program. It's all really they've ever been with a few exceptions. What changes this year to make them not that, if anything? I mean, can they break out of the 8-win program doldrums that it seems like they're locked in?
Yeah, they can to 9 wins. I don't.
One more.
I don't see it being a massive shift this year. I think they're going to be very similar to last year. The issue last year, of course, was just that meltdown in November, which was kind of surprising. It almost seemed like we're back in the Kevin Sumlin days, didn't it?
Yes.
But, I don't know if they've got the depth right now to go through an entire season and contend to be like a 10-win team or 11-win team. They've got the talent in the starting lineup to contend amongst the big dogs in the SEC this year, but I'm just not quite sold on the depth pieces that they have right now. So yeah, I'm still kind of there where they're maybe an 8-win team this year. Maybe 7 wins when you look at the schedule, but I'm kind of thinking about 8 wins right now, and they're just kind of in the middle of the pack in the SEC.
Taylor Korn, our great social media director, she has us doing a list all the time, as you guys do at CBS Sports and with your job. And I just, when we do these lists of SEC quarterbacks this year, there seems to be a whole lot of good, but you could do this list and you could have one day you could put DJ Lagway 1, one day you could put DJ Lagway 6, or you could put Arch Manning 1, or you could put him 5th. There seems to be a lot of guys that are good, but there's nobody that just jumps out and, oh, that guy is definitely the all-SEC quarterback. Am I wrong there? I mean, these lists seem like you can just take anybody's list and make a case for that guy being 1 or 7.
Yeah, most definitely. I agree. We go through this every 2 or 3 years in the SEC when we have kind of a mass exodus of veteran guys. Then we have some newcomers where you're going, well, we know these guys are good, and at some point we're going to figure out that like 3 or 4 of these guys are great, but we don't quite know it yet. And so you're kind of in this weird purgatory as someone who's evaluating quarterbacks or whatever, and you're ranking them. You're going, well, the SEC's just good at quarterback right now. When at the end of this season, you're going to see 3 or 4 guys emerge and go, whoa, they're great. You guys were wrong in the preseason. Well, that's just because we hadn't seen them play yet, really. And when the ones we have seen have played sparingly. Or, Arch Manning is considered by many right now to be number 1, but we've only seen him in 3 or 4 games, really, and an extended time. I'm high on Gunnar Stockton at Georgia, but a lot of people are low on him. But he's one of the few quarterbacks who are older in the SEC this year, and though he doesn't have a lot of playing experience, the playing experience he has have been on the big stage. SEC championship game in the second half against Texas to win it, and then in the Sugar Bowl against Notre Dame in the college football playoff when they were just teeing off on him because his offensive line was kind of bad, but he was still making some good throws in that game, getting the ball off. So, yeah, I think the quarterbacks in the SEC right now are just good on paper. And when you look at the middle half down, you're just like, that doesn't look good. But in the end, we're going to have about 4 guys in the SEC. That's about what it is almost every year when we go through, or every 2 or 3 years when we go through this cycle, where they go, well, those were great guys. And so if I wanted to identify those guys right now, who I think it's going to be, Arch Manning, DJ Lagway, if he can stay healthy. I got questions about his health because he's had 2 different injuries, and when you have 2 different injuries on your body and a quarterback, you're probably going to be injury prone the rest of your career. Lagway, I like Gunnar Stockton a lot. And then I think, you're probably going to see like Ty Simpson or something like that at Alabama emerge. I think Jackson Arnold's not nearly as bad as he was at OU last year. So he's going to be up there, maybe in the top 6 or so, or 5 in the SEC. So, yeah, on paper it looks good now, but you're going to see some great quarterbacks emerge by midseason. That's how it is every 3 years.
Listen, you're still a young guy. In the sportscasting world, you're young. I had a chance last night to eat dinner and grill out with some old friends in my local TV days. And we were bemoaning this or that about what college football used to be. One guy's a big Florida State guy and says they've screwed up our stadium, it's fragmented, and blah, 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 blah. You left Destin. You're sitting here in the summertime. Just the one thing that concerns you about this sport the most, the one thing that if Brandon Marcello loves college football like I know he does, that you worry about the sport the most, what is it?
Well, I think it's something that's been an undercurrent for forever, but it's really amplified the last 10 years. It's just this silo way of thinking that every conference is in a bunker, that they have to do what's best for them, and by God, it doesn't matter what it does to their brethren. We've had the alliance, right, among some of the conferences, and then that included, Kevin Warren stabbing everybody in the back in the Big Ten. Then he leaves and goes to the Bears, and everybody's just like left holding nothing. You got this thing with the SEC and Big Ten teaming up, and then now the SEC's kind of deviated away because they're like, maybe we don't want the 4AQ thing. That doesn't actually sound all that beneficial to us. And then you've got, the A4 governing themselves. Scheduling's an issue. No, there's not universal scheduling in college football. Every, conference is playing different amount of conference games. This is the benefit of college football is that everybody should be helping each other to help everything remain healthy. We shouldn't be like running this as competing businesses. I never understood why the conferences run this as if everybody's a competitor when they're having to play each other and make contractual agreements every year just to maintain schedules. Why is it that everybody's got to be, if I'm doing well, then you have to die? Why are we treating college athletics like it's a freaking business? I mean, and this is a deep-rooted thing that even goes back to, universities themselves, where it's like, it's higher education. Go get an education. Universities and colleges, it's a freaking business. Otherwise, they wouldn't be charging you hundreds of thousands of dollars for the opportunity to sit down in a chair and listen to someone blabber and teach you things. This whole enterprise is just a business, and everybody's out to get each other. I don't care what anybody talks about, like good of college football and whatever. They all kind of want to kill each other. Like, I don't care if you end up suffering because I end up doing well. And that's not what the true fabric of college athletics is supposed to be, right?
Yep.
It just isn't. And it's gotten so much worse the last 10 years, but it's always been happening. And it's only going to get worse, I think. And it always revolves around seismic shifts, like the House settlement stuff. You're seeing more power given to the power conferences. You're going to see more separation between the haves and have-nots because of the revenue sharing. And then also, it always revolves around when TV contracts expire. Again, revolves around the money. And we're heading toward another potential kind of devastation of what we see right now in the early 2030s. Because then you're going to see, I'm predicting that we're just going to see consolidation. You're not going to see expansion, so to speak. You're going to see consolidation. You're going to see another conference go away. and be swallowed up. And then maybe we end up getting a super league of some sort, whatever. And everybody talks about that. But we're moving in the business world and everything always gets consolidated. Everybody gets gobbled up and consolidated. And that's the model college athletics has decided to follow these last 15, 20 years.
It's kind of a sad way to end.
It's terrible. You know what's great, though?
What?
Saturdays still
right.
exist on calendars.
Yeah.
You cannot take away that from the calendar, and we still have games.
What's crazy is so many people have tried to ruin it, and it just continues to succeed. That's what's wild about it because, number one, we're addicted to it. We're addicted to football as a nation, just football in general, whether it be college or the NFL. We're a football country, so we're addicted to it. That's number one. But number two, it just continues to deliver year after year after year. It is such a – I mean, you're like us, Brandon. You start, as soon as game day's over, and you go to bed when that last game goes off. And it's, I know, and I never get to the end of a Saturday night and think, okay, I've had enough. I get to the end of the Saturday night, and I'm like, if there was another game kicking off, I'd watch it right now.
I'm honestly I'm wired after every Saturday night, whether I'm on the road covering something or whatever.
It's hard to go to bed.
Sleep for about 3-4 hours. I've been known to not go to bed till about 4 or 5 at night on Saturdays because I'm so wired still. I got a sickness.
I know.
With it.
We're addicted.
But my one worry, I know I'm talking forever, but my one worry is that don't start pricing fans out because things are getting so expensive anyway in the world. But you see some of the tickets and some of the, you get all these fees and everything. Now there's NIL fees with tickets. For example, so you guys know I live in Arkansas. There's a super regional here, and it's a big series, obviously. Arkansas, Tennessee, right, whatever. And the price for tickets are more than for football games, and it's I just wanted to go stand in the outfield and maybe go to a game.
Right.
Just to do that was going to be, right now, yesterday was $135 just to go stand and hope to fight for a standing area in the outfield where it's first come, first serve.
So it was $135 to stand in line to hope you can stand and watch.
That's crazy. I don't know. Is everybody else millionaires and I just don't know it?
Yeah.
How are we doing this?
Hey.
You can't keep doing this to fans, right? You can't keep doing that.
I went over to a friend's house last night, and I was got home, told my wife, I said, we've done it wrong money-wise, man. Everybody else has a lot more money than we do, man. This new house this person had, I was like, wow, man.
Well, but you're having fun.
Oh, it was good. It was good,
yes.
yes.
He is Brandon Marcello at B Marcello on social media. Was with us. Somebody mentioned in the chat the middle eight. Football season will be here. Brandon was with us throughout football season last year with the middle eight. We had fun every Monday morning at 8 o'clock doing that. Read him at CBS Sports and 24/7 Sports. Thank you for the time, Brandon. Always fun talking with you.
All right, see you guys.
All right, buddy, take care. Brandon Marcello with us on the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys Hotline.
And the show being brought to you in part today by our friends at A+. Brownie, tell us about A+.
So A+ is the outfit that redid the master bathroom in the Brown house. When it came time to do that, my wife Jennifer scoured the internet looking for the right person for the job. She read reviews in doing that. She talked to certain people that had used certain contractors. She called contractors, talked to them. We had people come out and look at the job. Brad Bell was the guy we picked. I am so glad we did. AlabamaBathRemodels.com to see all the work he's done. AlabamaBathRemodels.com is the website. Or call Brad. Get him to come out and bid your job. 205-422-1758. 205-422-1758. He specializes in master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. Not to say it's all he does, but it is his specialty. The reason that it's his specialty is because you're going to spend a lot of time in those rooms. But when you go to sell your house, and they eventually do, those rooms are really going to pop when people come to look at them. Master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets, very important. AlabamaBathRemodels.com. To get Brad to come out and look at your job, or give him a call, 205-422-1758, 205-422-1758, Brad Bell, AlabamaBathRemodels.com.
And our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. Once you have it looking right on the inside, you got to make sure you got a roof on top of that doesn't have water entry points. Start with a free no-cost roof inspection to make sure no water's leaking through one loose shingle or a joint that's not fitting right up there. Whatever can go wrong on your roof, Greg can check it out and make sure everything is perfectly fine. Free no-cost roof inspection with Storm Restoration Roofing and Greg from Pell City on Facebook. The phone number, 205-542-3531. That's his cell number, and he'll return a text for you or call you back after you hit that number up. for that free no-cost roof inspection. Full roof replacements, he does that when it ages out. Roofing repairs, storm damage repairs, so important this time of year. He's got a builder's license. Locally owned for over 20 years now. He and his wife own the company. It's family-owned, and his relationship with the insurance providers help you out so much when it comes to making claims. It is Storm Restoration Roofing, 205-542-3531, or Greg from Pell City on Facebook, Storm Restoration Roofing.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Do you need some more fresh college wear to represent your team this year? Shop Roback's Game Day collection that includes both Alabama and Auburn. From quarter zips to hoodies, Roback has it all. Get 20% off on us using code TNR20 at roback.com.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
No matter the occasion, the Next Round store has you covered with whatever you need. Head over to nextround.store and start filling your cart up now. When you wear your gear, make sure to let us know by posting on socials, and you might just end up seeing yourself during a commercial break. Go browse now at nextround.store and place your order before the break ends.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
EG back with us as she'll get ready to read trash for us. A couple of things to get to before that. This hour always brought to you by our friends at Champy's. We're about to show you a little fan picture, but Champy's Chicken, when you're at home before you go on the road this summer, enjoy the great food at Champy's Chicken, open for lunch right now for about 33 minutes now. Also open for dinner, great happy hour bar area there, and of course the great food that Champy's is known for. Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling and the crew will take care of you. And when we get to tailgating in 80 days, it is the best tailgate food. Imagine a whole big pan of chicken fingers or brined overnight chicken, or the tamales, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales to take to the game. So good. It is champyschicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. The new summer colors gear is up. Nextround.store, nextround.store. You can go check out some of those. We love the pictures, especially during football season and the summertime, my two favorite times of year, when you guys are either in football stadiums or on vacation when you send your pictures in. We showed you some in Venice earlier, Toronto earlier this week, Mall of America in Minnesota earlier this week. Let's go to Kauai in Hawaii. And this is the Next Round shirt with Josh Kaiser and company on the Big Island.
Well, that's gorgeous.
Nice. I'm jealous.
Look how beautiful
them.
that is.
Beautiful couple. Great shirt.
The waterfalls and
what a trip.
The T-shirt there and the Next Round gear on the road there this summer. Nextround.store, nextround.store to make your purchase. Before we get to trash, a couple of things. $14 million is the report that the basketball roster for North Carolina is going to be this year. $14 million.
So this upcoming year, huh?
Yep. That includes money that was paid to Jaron Stevenson to leave Alabama and go back to his hometown of Chapel Hill to play for North Carolina. Here's the problem, though. The Field of 68 says they have spent $14 million on their roster, but they feel like they've overpaid for the players that they brought in, that they are basically a fringe Sweet 16 team, somewhere between 16 and 25 in their belief in rankings. That from the Field of 68 last night.
That'll get Hubert Can right there. I mean, seriously, though, if you spend, what'd you say, 16 million?
14
million. I'm sorry, 14 million?
No.
It's an expensive $14 million.
If you're Hubert Davis and you've spent $14 million, if that is a legitimate number from the Field of 68, if their data is right.
Yeah. Inside Carolina is reporting the 14 million. They're reacting to that story.
If it's 14 million, if that is correct, I would have to say it's national championship or get fired.
Yeah, there's no in between.
I don't know how you could spend $14 million and not expect to win a national championship. If there's a serious injury or something like that, I get it.
Yeah, barring something crazy, if you're spending that kind of money, that is the expectation.
Yeah. I don't know how you would expect anything less than a national championship if you're a North Carolina fan.
Keep in mind, I think Alabama built their best roster of all time last year, somewhere around the $5 million, $6 million NIL mark.
Yeah.
That's how much the cost of doing business has changed in less than 12 months.
Well,
from 5 to 6 million gets you one of the top rosters in the country. Now you got to pay $14 million to be, in this case, a fringe Sweet 16 team.
I don't know, like I would love to know where the NIL money's going in North Carolina, because that's the whole thing that we were told about Belichick getting the job is they were going to commit heavily to the NIL. Man, if you're spending $14 million in basketball.
Yeah, what's left over for football?
Or what are you spending in football? You know, if it's an apples to oranges or an apples to apples comparison in football, I don't know what $14 million in basketball would compare to in football. Probably what Ohio State paid last year for the national championship.
When Nick Saban first at SEC Media Day stood up, and it was just a couple of days after the NIL had been made legal, and he said, our quarterback, I'm not complaining. I mean, if you guys want to do it this way, we'll do it this way. But, you know, my quarterback's $1 million quarterback. He's already got $1 million NIL deal, whatever he said back then. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
If you'd have told me back then that, oh, man, if Alabama had $14 million to spend on football every year, then that'd be a good number.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's $14 million for
basketball.
For 13 basketball players.
Basketball. And it took $35 million, apparently, to win a football championship last year.
For 13 basketball players, a $14 million NIL there. So we're paying some bench guys a lot of money there for that one. A couple of NFL notes. Micah Parsons says, though he's got a rookie contract, one more year worth $24 million, the Cowboys are promising him more money. He is going to be at the mandatory camp June 10th through the 12th. That's next week for the Cowboys. We're at that part of the calendar, mandatory camps next week. If you miss it, you pay fines.
That's right.
So he'll be there for that. That's interesting. Jahad Campbell, he's going to be on the shelf. the Alabama linebacker, a shoulder issue. They're going to rehab that all summer. He won't do official football duties until they get to August camp, that going on. And then Mike McDonald yesterday, not surprising anyone when he said Sam Darnold is Seattle's starting quarterback. Doesn't surprise anybody there.
It doesn't. I just think, I think you'll see some Jalen Milroe in the preseason. It will be interesting to see how he looks in the preseason and if his preseason action gets him any playing time, not necessarily starting, but he's going to bring a skill set that any quarterback doesn't have outside of a Lamar Jackson or somebody like that. Sam Darnold certainly doesn't have it. So do you use him in some situational stuff early on? And I think he'll earn that in camp if he can. It's not really a quarterback battle to watch. I'm just interested in seeing how Milroe looks.
Be utilized.
Yeah, well, how he looks, E.G., in the preseason games where he actually gets to play the quarterback spot. And, when it's two, he's probably going to be with the twos against the twos. How he reacts there and in camp, if he earns Mike McDonald saying, hey, we've got to find
a spot.
Situations for this guy.
Yeah, if we can set up packages where we can utilize someone like him.
And when you do that, if Sam Darnold starts to struggle, all of a sudden you're the starter. And that can happen overnight for Jalen Milroe if he can perform, and that's the huge if.
I know that in your future, E.G., that there's a chance you'll either cover, or maybe both, the World Series in Omaha for the colleges or the Women's College World Series in Oklahoma City. We were watching it the other night at poker, Oklahoma not going away, but Texas Tech finally wins it. Texas Tech and Texas starts their Women's College World Series best of 3 series tonight, 7 o'clock on ESPN, 7 o'clock on TNT for the Game 1 of the Stanley Cup. Any sporting event that you haven't covered yet, which one are you most looking forward to in the future part of your career? In the next 30 years, as Tim McGraw would say.
I love that
Another
song.
Tim McGraw song.
I'd go the Masters. That would be incredible.
Yeah, first one that pops to mind for you is the Masters.
The Masters. And then the National Championship as a sideline reporter.
Yeah, so on the ESPN broadcast, sideline reporter for college football's national championship.
Yep.
Okay.
That one would be pretty full circle.
Put that on your EG dream board at home before we do trash. Tell us about Dr. B, Brownie.
Dr. B is the guy that is growing the hair back on my head and on Lance's head, and he can help you as well. If it's not too late, look, Dr. B not afraid to say, hey, it might be a little bit too late for you. T3hair.net is the website, T3hair.net. That is where you find our guy, Dr. Michael Beckenstein, one of the best in the business, just does tremendous work. And they are constantly on top of the changing technology and the hair regrowth. Now, it's not going to be something where he goes in and says, oh, this is what Lance and Ryan are doing. That's what you're going to do too. No, they're going to test your genetics and make sure that you're getting genetically the right hair regrowth system for you. And like I said, the technology is constantly changing. So what might work today could work infinitely better tomorrow just because it's changing technology. So he stays on top of it. He is always ready to look at you and tell you if he can help you grow your hair back. T3hair.net is the website, T3hair.net. T3 Hair Preservation, our Dr. B. And you can go see Dr. B and see if he can grow that hair back on your head. Get started at T3hair.net. Set up that risk-free evaluation with our guy, Dr. B. T3 Hair Preservation, Dr. Michael Beckenstein.
Bag up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse. Oh, Lord, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus. What you doing, Terry?
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy, Bud Light.
Okay, so we have another runaway animal on the loose.
Oh, like the kangaroo a few weeks ago.
Yes. We have a zebra this time, and it's in Tennessee.
A zebra in Tennessee.
A zebra in Tennessee. A zebra remains on the loose after the animal escaped from its owners in Tennessee. Over the weekend, authorities said the owners obtained the zebra on Friday night and reported it missing on Saturday. So they were not in possession of the zebra very long.
I let him out in the backyard.
However, the distinct black and white striped animal escaped into a wooded area off of Interstate 24 where it was wreaking havoc between Joe B. Jackson Parkway and the Epps Mill Road exits on Saturday afternoon.
How's it wreaking havoc? Is it not just like a horse?
I guess it shut down one lane of traffic. apparently.
Okay, I see. Oh, I felt bad there. I thought it was
Did
about
he
to
get hit
break
by
a
the car?
leg.
I thought it was about to do a face plant.
Would you guys, if you saw this in your respective neighborhoods,
That's what's crazy about it. Just walking down the neighborhood streets and making a proper right turn. It's not walking through the
he uses
yards.
blinker.
Yeah. That's more
First
than
thing-
most humans do.
First thing I would do is take the video and a still shot
Yep.
so I could post it on my social
Yeah.
media. That's what we all do first. And then I would call 911, I guess, and say, hey, there's a zebra on the loose.
Okay, sir.
do you think, yeah, exactly. Do you think you're going to have to convince them that you're not on some sort of,
There's a zebra on the loose.
They're fascinating animals, though. The black and white stripe. I don't know
I
why a
agree.
zebra fascinates
But
me.
it-
It is nothing more than a horse.
No, I'm asking now. I'm not playing a role here.
Okay.
I have not studied zebras very deeply. I just think that they're a horse with stripes. Are they not?
I mean, I think that's about right.
Yeah, they are mesmerizing to watch.
They
though.
really are.
Yeah.
I don't know what the differences between a zebra and a horse are.
I mean, is the coat? I mean, when Lance is here, Tyler would have already chimed in with 3 different things. Now, do you have any zebra knowledge at all? It's
No,
like
I don't.
I mean, is it so Jeeves? The one thing you don't know about is zebras.
I guess so.
Like, is their hair is it the same
I
coat
think
as a
they're-
horse?
I don't know.
I've never seen anybody.
Zebras are smaller and stockier than most horses.
Yeah,
they
they're
have
a little
shorter
thicker.
legs. They have more donkey-like ears.
Yeah.
They have more limited range of movement compared to horses.
I feel like horses are more athletic.
But
I would agree.
I've never seen
Yeah.
like a saddle on a zebra. Anybody
I
ever
guess-
see anybody riding a zebra?
No. Camels, I guess, are the preferred transportation.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're beautiful. I'm surprised. This is kind of random, but like their coat, you don't see like zebra coats anywhere. Like you know what I mean? Like you'll see
Well,
like
it's
a
true.
mink
Like a
coat.
zebra gets killed.
Yeah,
and
you don't. I wonder why that is. I mean, there's zebra print, but
Didn't Cruella DeVille have one? No, she had a
She
Dalmatian
had-
coat.
yeah.
I don't see any horse coats either, though.
That's
no,
true.
because I feel like that'd be inhumane.
Kind of. Well, the
Was it
zebra
a
wouldn't.
zebra?
No, that's my point.
Yeah.
Zebra would
Oh.
be too. Yeah. I mean, it's I don't know.
Zebras are notoriously difficult to domesticate. Notoriously
Okay,
difficult
there
to
it is.
domesticate.
That's why.
Well, I mean,
and are
those-
not suited for riding due to their anatomy and temperament. I don't know what anatomy makes me not ride a zebra.
I don't know.
But Tyler, you would agree that the wild horse, when we buck them to break them to get them to take a saddle, I mean, every cowboy movie has a wild horse that we have to bring him in and he kicks the cowboy off 2 or 3 times and then become best friends.
Yeah.
Can we not do that to zebras?
I guess not.
I think zebras are the roughnecks of the horse family, pretty much, Jim.
Because donkeys you can even ride on.
Yeah, I think the zebras like they ain't
Little
riding
sassy.
me.
Yeah.
Still at large?
Still at large.
Okay.
So keep your eyes out. All right, up next, Florida high schooler's backflip fail during graduation ceremony goes viral after he accidentally kicks classmate. I saw this video.
Oh, no.
Now you've ruined it for you and her.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Look how excited the other girl is.
Okay, one more time. I need to see this again.
She's
Oh,
we
from
got
a different
another
angle.
view. My gosh, how many cameras were rolling?
Did they know he was gonna?
Yeah, well, this.
Oh, no.
No.
I mean,
oh man, that's
have some situational awareness.
yeah, really.
No.
It's a bit selfish there.
Yeah, because now, I'm not worried about him.
I'm not worried at all.
Oh yeah, he
No,
can-
no.
You've ruined it for the other girl.
That's right. I mean, that second piece of video where she was so excited, she was waving to her family, and she gets
thrilled.
kicked in the head.
And footage which has gone viral, Sunday's graduation ceremony for South Plantation High School in Florida took a bad turn when one student got a little too excited by his achievement. The student launched into a celebratory backflip after he was called on stage.
That's terrible.
Oh.
And that's just,
Yeah.
I don't know what even the punishment for that
Well, I mean, there's
is.
nothing
You've
you can
graduated
do.
at that
Yeah,
point.
you've graduated.
I mean, he was not doing it with ill.
No, there was no
but-
malice.
But,
Yeah.
again, come on.
I just feel bad
Pick your
for her.
spots, you know?
If I was the richest guy in the world, I would Venmo her $10,000 to
Really?
enjoy her weekend. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Seems
really nice
If I was
of
the
you.
richest guy in the world, it
Or
wouldn't matter.
really stingy if he's the richest guy in the world.
Yeah, 10 grand is kind of a
10
small
grand. It's like
number.
a
I mean,
penny.
if you're the richest guy in the world, you
Well,
got
a couple million.
She was able to get up
She
and
got up.
continue with her life.
And listen,
I'm just paying for her beach trip to wherever she wants to go.
She's probably, receiving some benefit. Oh,
See,
there it
that's
is.
the problem with me being the richest person in the
What?
world is that you guys right there instantly in 12 seconds you're already bitching at me for not giving enough. Well,
that's like
it's
me-
not easy being the richest person in the world.
Well, it's like me giving $1.
No, I don't have a. I don't. I don't criticize rich people for not giving enough. I criticize them when they make a big show of how much they give.
That's right.
It's really
I just told
you just
you
announced
guys.
yours in advance.
I just told your guys.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to make a big deal about it. I was
your-
going to Venmo her $10,000.
Your counter to that is I didn't get rich by giving it all away.
Yeah, but I am rich now, so
Yeah.
I can give it all
And I'm
away.
fine with that that logic.
Yeah.
Act broke to stay rich.
Yeah.
But see, that's why, I mean, you guys are always lined up to kill the rich people.
Who's you guys? I'm not in that game.
Guys,
I promise.
Never,
I'm
never
not
given
a part
up.
of that
You never
movement.
given up.
No.
I take mine by 10,000. Good
Okay.
luck. Get up, girl. Dust yourself off. Pay for your own beach trip to Panama City.
It's a good life lesson.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm putting you on the spot for the next one. Have you
Okay.
ever been cheated on?
Not that I am aware of.
Not after marriage, right?
No.
When I was dating, I got cheated on.
I think I was part of a girl cheating on a guy.
Oh, so you were.
I was the date when she was cheating on another guy. That's before
yikes.
Jennifer and I were dating.
Oh, I did that a lot. But I
you
think
were the guy that
Gosh.
did you know
You
you?
guys
See,
were
I
like
didn't.
the
I didn't
other
know I
woman?
was doing it until the
Oh,
end.
I did. Yeah.
You knew you knew she was cheating on her guy with you.
These were boyfriend girlfriends. This was nothing like a serious
but
relationship.
So you knowingly went into it being like, I know she has a boyfriend, but
Yeah, but this was like, not to do in your personal life, but like less than where you are in your life right
Okay.
now. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You are at a different level
sure.
than just you're not engaged,
So,
but you're not
you
you're not newly dating. You're
Right.
not college dating. You're
Okay.
adult dating.
So this
you're in a
was-
relationship.
All right. So I was in high school. You tell me what you think happened.
Okay.
I was in high school. I was a sophomore. Had just got my driver's license, and there was a senior, and I'd always wanted to go out with her, but she had a long-term boyfriend. Well,
Sophomore going out with a senior.
I was a sophomore. She was a
Okay.
senior. She had her boyfriend went to another school near us. She broke up with him. At least I was told.
Yeah.
So I asked her out, and she says yes. So we go out on a date. I'm taking her back home, and he's sitting in the driveway.
Yeah. At that point,
in his car. Now,
Drama.
now when I initially saw this, I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be interesting. Well, she's in the passenger seat. She ducks down. She goes, keep driving. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why am I keeping driving?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It was
she
good.
might
It
have
was-
been. Maybe you were a rebound too. Like maybe they just broken up.
That made me
or-
feel a lot better. Thanks, EJ.
Sorry.
yeah,
That
for
was the
me, when I was cheated on.
No, Scott, I was not a homewrecker. I thought she had broken up, Scott. Do not pin that one on me.
Yeah.
Now that I've told the story.
You don't have to do an investigation. If she tells you she broke up, then that's all. That's your hands are washed at
That's
that
right.
point.
Yeah.
But I don't think she had.
Female friend of mine came to me and told me that there was a guy at a party she was at that was bragging that he had gone out several times with the girl I had been seeing for about a year and a half.
Okay.
And that's how I found out I was being cheated on.
Oh, wow.
no.
That sucks,
Yeah.
Dunaway.
That's awful.
Now, the girl that told me this, we ended up going out a few times dating. So I think she told me,
hoping that she could peel you off
to sort of be in line, but that was a lengthy
traumatic.
year and a half, almost 2-year relationship. Now, that guy who she cheated, they got married and they've had kids,
good.
and
So
they've
it
had
worked
a
out.
life
Yeah, it
happily
worked out.
ever after.
Yeah.
But for me at that moment, it was like, dang.
Wow. I have not been cheated on, and I have not cheated on anyone.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah, just want to set the record straight there.
Allegedly.
No, not allegedly. That's from the source.
As far as we know.
No.
Wow.
No.
I don't doubt you, EG.
I
know
you
your-
don't-
I
you
know
don't
your
know
character.
my character.
I know your character.
Little
No, I know
duo
your
right here.
character. I'm saying
Well, I
you don't
know-
know if
So
you
you
haven't
think
been
people would
cheated.
cheat on me?
I'm just
Well, I
saying
don't
you
know
don't
if you
know.
dated before Mikey.
You don't know.
How many guys did you date before your current?
Not serious. I went on dates.
Okay.
Yeah, like how serious do you have to be? I guess you have to define the relationship before it's cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not saying Mikey either. I'm just saying there was, pre-Mikey.
Yeah,
there
for
may have been
sure.
a guy that you think that it was just you and him.
no, I'm
and-
confident. I'm confident.
Well, I know you're confident. I'm just
Oh,
saying you only know what you know.
Listen, if anyone I went on dates with prior to my relationship now, let me know. Or speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah.
All that to say.
You don't want to know now.
Yeah.
Now I kind of do want to know. but I don't-
Statute of limitations at this point.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
All right, let's ask this way. Is there one that, like, if we said pick the one that cheated on you, you'd say, okay, it would be this
Yeah.
one. Okay, so there's one
There's one that I'd be like,
that would be believable.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I would say that Tom Brady team was pretty good. That was 18-0, but they did lose a game.
Yeah, it's like,
I mean, you
I
think you're pretty good, but there could be a New York Giants out there.
There was a one-off. That anyway, what are we even doing here? Okay.
Well, you asked the
I
question.
I know.
What's his name? Tell us his name.
No. I don't know what he's up to these days, but not with me.
Yeah.
Okay, so a woman in China ordered a lot of onions, you're about to see it on your screen here, to be delivered to her ex-boyfriend with a note that read, "I cried for 3 days, now it's your turn." Wow.
Listen, I don't know how he got out of the relationship. I'm assuming, based on your question, he cheated on her.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he's out of this relationship. That is unhealthy behavior right there. I mean, that is one trash story away from standing over him and he's asleep, she's got a knife.
Yeah, but I'll go ahead and tell you, unless I'm chopping those onions, they're not going to make me cry.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And I just wasted a lot of money on onions.
Yeah.
The woman told reporters she found out that he'd been cheating on her after taking a look at his phone. After breaking up, she said she was utterly miserable and cried for days, whereas he continued to enjoy life without a trace of sadness or remorse.
Called winning the breakup.
Well, I tell you what, the cell phone accelerated the cheating game and the getting caught cheating game.
Yeah.
Did it not?
Wait, guys, he ended up reselling the onions.
See, he won.
Yeah, and he won. He got $138.
How do you resell onions, though, by the way?
Maybe to a restaurant?
Wild.
I wouldn't resell them. I would donate
Anybody
them.
want some secondhand onions?
Yes.
They're lightly used.
Yes. Why do you have 8,000 bags of onions?
It took her 50 trips to move all the produce.
Yeah, this.
Yeah.
Man, he's better off out of this relationship.
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and tell you.
they both dodged a bullet.
I mean, that's even easier. I mean, that's easy to pick up. I mean, she should have
I would have. Well, I can't say
She
that.
still had a key. She should have ran in there and threw flour and
Cut them up.
First thing I'd do is change a lot.
Sprinkle.
Yeah.
Sprinkle them everywhere.
hide them in places.
Okay, next story. Mom attacks principal and superintendent after being called to school to discuss daughters fighting.
Mom allegedly,
I believe we've gotten to the bottom of this.
attacks principal
Yeah.
superintendent after being called to school for daughter fighting.
In North,
I'm gonna not helping the daughter's case here.
Yeah,
are you?
No. A North Carolina mom is accused of attacking a middle school principal and superintendent, grabbing one of the administrators by the neck and nearly choking her during a meeting at the school to discuss her daughter's involvement in a fight. She was released on bond. Hector and other family members were called to Randolph Middle School in Charlotte on May 5th after her daughter was involved in a fight, according to an affidavit. While at the school, Hector reportedly became hostile and was asked to leave. It basically just digressed from there, but definitely not putting your daughter in the best position.
No.
Do you think at some point she said she was just part of the group? She wasn't in the fight. You want me to show what in the fight looks like?
Maybe.
This is what it looks like.
You call that fighting? I'll show you fighting.
Yeah, I'll show you a thing or
Let
two.
me grab you by the throat.
Last story here. This is kind of interesting. Bearded dragon saves sleeping owner from house fire.
Okay.
How ironic is that?
He's got a little fire hat on.
Yeah,
He's a fire dragon.
I kinda like that.
Is this a real photo or is this?
This is a real photo.
Oh,
The,
wow.
fire
Where did they get that little
department put
fire
a
hat?
little fire hat on him. I don't know where they get the tiny fire
Yeah,
hat.
where do you
That's
have
really
that?
cute.
They posted a picture of Spike, the bearded dragon, here,
Okay.
with a little fire hat.
I don't really like reptilian
I'm
creatures.
with
in my
you on
house.
that. Yeah, as pets anyway.
No,
I don't think so either. But I will tell you, as far as a bar name go, Bearded Dragon would be a cool bar name.
Yeah.
Where
yeah,
we had
I'm
it?
sure it's there.
Y'all want to go Bearded Dragon tonight?
Yeah, bearded dragon have the game on.
What's your famous drink?
The has
Just
to be
a shot of
Fireball.
Fireball.
A shot of Fireball.
Yeah, me and Lionel on the same
Yeah.
page.
Something with flames.
Something with flames. A bearded dragon owner in Washington State is counting his blessings after his beloved pet saved him from a fire. Donald Hale and his bearded dragon Spike are nearly inseparable. This is my question. How do you connect with a bearded
Yeah,
dragon?
it's tough because I bet they don't smile a lot and
They don't cuddle because they're
They're not
cold-blooded.
gonna wag their tail.
No.
I witnessed a miracle right here laying on this couch because if my dragon don't wake me up, if he don't wake me up, I don't be here talking to y'all.
Oh, okay.
Hale came back
so,
from a-
so the Bearded Dragon taught him English, okay?
Hale came back from a 13-mile run that night and fell into a deep sleep. 13 miles?
Whoa, that's gonna have half a marathon.
Dang.
Yeah.
Good job, Donald. And fell into a deep sleep on the couch after taking some melatonin. Ooh. He didn't hear the 2 smoke alarms that began going
Maybe
off.
a bit too much melatonin.
Yeah, a little bit.
Say that again. He didn't what?
He didn't hear the 2 smoke alarms that began going off.
Yeah.
But luckily for him, Spike was not about to go down in flames. He used his very long tail like a whip to wake up his sleeping owner.
That is crazy.
Didn't no neighbor come and wake me up. No alarm wake me up. My dragon woke me up.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Read it as him again.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Hale went to the bathroom where he discovered the problem. When I opened the cabinet from the pressure, the smoke and fire came out. I backed out, grabbed something to put the water in, came back and put it out.
What was on fire?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
In the cabinet.
He says someone poured something down the drain causing the fire. Maybe someone put some like oil or grease.
Mr. Science, yeah.
Grease.
It's got a lot of unanswered questions in this story.
Now Hale is thanking both God and his wordless companion for saving his life. And, guys, guess where he's taking Spike for his reward?
Disney.
Wait a second.
Close.
What?
The Grand Canyon.
Oh.
You might lose Spike.
Yeah, what is Spike's like? I'm home. Thank you.
Thanks for getting me back.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would say, though, that, maybe not for the love of the guy in charge, the pet owner, but maybe just strictly survival for him.
Yeah, he was like, I got to get out of this
I've noticed
joint.
enough that this guy can open that door and I can get out of
That's
here.
right.
This fire is going to get me.
Interesting.
So let me get this guy to open that exit and let's get out of here.
Maybe he'll take me to the Grand
Grand
Canyon.
Canyon. It was all Spike's plan.
Yeah, it was.
It was all worked
Smart,
out.
His
smart
owner
animal.
did say that Spike's always wanted to see the Grand Canyon.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, I thought we assumed that.
Yeah, that was
He says it with his eyes.
Yes.
His
Yeah.
little tail flick.
All right, Tyler, thank you. Good trash
Yeah.
stories. EG, thank you for
Yeah,
being
thank
here
you,
for that. That is
guys.
Trash Today, brought to you in part by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision Brownie, the best decision Lance made years ago, other than teaming up with us.
969-8100, MichelsonLaserVision.com. Dr. Mark Michelson and his daughter Jennifer, pioneers in the field of LASIK surgery. They can give you that 20/20 vision. Go see them for a risk-free appointment. Call Amy, and when you call her, say, I want Lance Taylor's eyesight. I heard it on the next round. I want to be a fighter pilot. 969-8100, MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Worst part about Wednesdays, no Pennant Grace.
No Pennant Grace, but Pennant Grace tomorrow at 12:15, and we're actually doing an Ask EG Anything because my co-host is out. So if you have any questions for me, they can range from Braves to job to really anything. Let me know.
And then, the Meltdown at 2 o'clock today live. And later tonight, trivia at Odie's.
Woo!
Lance is back. We'll be there with Brownie tonight for a good trivia night there.
Back off Metallica. You think he can't hear me? He's going to be, what'd you say, Brown?
Yeah, turn it up a bit. That's the show. We're back with you tomorrow on this platform, the next round. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.